Konnichiwa minasan, selamat datang diucapkan untuk anda yang mengikuti sesi ini secara langsung dan juga anda yang menonton setelah live stream ini berakhir ke sesi kolaborasi SEPARATION bersama laman pop culture suka ramai BuzzPopTV. Seperti biasa saya Kuda Bahari itu dari laman blog SEPARATION bersama para panelis dari BuzzPopTV yang akan memberi reaksi dan ulasan episod 20 hingga ke 26, pretty much di second half of COUR 2 BLEACH, Thousand Year Blood War, The Separation yang selama ni disiarkan di laman streaming Netflix. Actually, still is being streamed on Netflix. But before this, setiap hari Sabtu lah. So, bersama saya panelis malam ini terdiri daripada Shazli. American Kaki Anime, how are you, man?
Doing great, other than the general haze around Malaysia. Pretty much it's quite okay time.
Ya, batuk-batuk berjaga tadi kan. And then juga our brother Izquierda del Diablo, Jamarasan. How are you, man?
I'm good. Relaxing this weekend. Rehat.
So I can't promise, but we'll see how we can fit you in for the Gen V session afterwards.
Tak jadi. Hadi is not available last minute.
Okay. So, okay then we can go on for 5 hours today then. Dan juga lastly, Andri Alwi, last but not least, Kaki Anime MILF Connoisseur. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. The haze is terrible.
Yeah.
It's affecting my asthma again. But I just wanted to say, tell your wife I said hi. Your mom, I'll be back soon. It'll be late. And to your daughters and sisters, I want my money back in full. Make sure the trap is full.
Kalau aku terror buat CGI, aku buah serban kat kepala kau. Janggut dah ada, baju dah ada.
Ada je.
Betul aku buat TikTok. Anyway. Taklah. Right. Dan juga kepada untuk makluman anda yang belum pernah mengikuti sesi ulasan kami, perbincangan kami akan mengandungi spoiler yang berkait dengan episod-episod yang diulas, dan juga kepada anda yang menonton sesi ini setelah live stream ini berakhir, sila langgan laman YouTube STOMACHOFCHAOS dan BuzzPopTV supaya anda tidak ketinggalan untuk menonton live stream kami yang akan datang, dan jangan lupa untuk tenyeh butang like. So let's get on with it. There's a few episodes to go on, but don't worry, we're not going to go like dissect every single second, but we'll start with, as usual, reaksi satu ayat. Okay, reaksi satu ayat. Saya punya reaksi satu ayat pretty much an extension daripada reaksi satu ayat sesi bincang yang lepas. Episod-episod ni rasa lebih puas bila berbanding dengan manga. Ada beberapa aspek dalam cerita ni yang tak 100% best lah. Kepada ramai pembaca, orang banyak cakap apa macam ni. Kita dah nampak dalam COUR 2 ni dia orang adding stuff, making things a bit clearer daripada conjecture semua. So dan satu attempt untuk mencantikkan benda yang in the end hampas juga. Anyway, we'll start with Andri. What's your reaksi satu ayat for this few episodes?
Okay, I think satu kata ayat is OP tau, overpowered tau. BLEACH, they're trying to finish this season off with pulling the trigger on as much OP powers and OP scenes as possible tau. It's almost the same like what they repeat in the previous seasons lah, before the 1,000-year Blood War tau. I tell you honestly kan, among the most interesting things that I've seen in this second COUR, right, yang paling saya betul-betul menarik kan, it's not the fighting tau, it's actually the scenes yang macam dia tak include inside the manga. It's like the talk between the Squad Zero and
Yahua. We'll get to that in a bit. Yeah, anyway.
That was interesting because it tells us a bit more about the whole background, why this shit is happening, the motivations.
Yes.
Because I wanted to see kan, okay, this guy is strong. But why is he strong and why is that power overpowering other people's power tau? We see Squad Zero kan, certain character kan, we should probably discuss later kan. Dia punya power kan is OP. I'm like, are you kidding me? This one is like 1,000 times more buff up than the Senbon Sakura apa yang Byakuya guna tau.
Senbon Sakura.
Yeah, Senbon Sakura. I mean, you can't dodge this. It's like a interdimensional punya attack range tau. I'm like, this is not a Bankai anymore. This is like a Nen level punya Nen level punya powers tau. It's like something from Yu Yu Hakusho at the last few seasons tau. Apa yang when they were trying to
Hunter tu
Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho. There was a power kan yang the Uramishi lawan apa yang manusia dia nak buka pintu ke neraka kan, demon portal kan, and then all these humans got macam dimensional powers tau. They have a domain, something like that. This is something like this. Yeah, so they just instead of focusing on things that make us ask questions and pique our interest, right? They just try to mind blown us with OP scenes lah. This is what I feel on the later half of the second core, which is actually a shame lah. Actually, I think it's good season or core, whatever you call it, but I think you could have done a better job redirecting our attention lah.
Cool. Shaz, what's your thoughts? Reaksi satu ayat anda.
The whole thing has too many reversal. Lepas tu dia punya plot development tu tiba-tiba je. Oh, sebenarnya kan korang tak ada kuasa. Then the other guy pun, no, actually kau yang tak ada kuasa. So macam like, this is like a wrestling punya show with like no, character growth. Tiba-tiba I'm just stronger than you. Simple as that. All this time your efforts were meaningless. So it's done better this time because it's not stretched out. But it's consistent lah with the older series punya character development. So aku rasa dia dah tak reti nak prepare characters differently kalau you compare it to other fighting styles. Dulu Jama pernah cerita all this, but fighting style tu dia main in different anime lah. But generally, if you like that kind of oh my god, what just happened punya reversal style of anime fighting shows, then it's a great thing. But if not, then macam like reversal lagi tiba-tiba from nowhere, and then suddenly a double reversal, macam like it gets old very fast.
There's too many fight scenes here, but nanti when we get to the Bedah, please if you don't mind just illustrate which bit of the fight yang you tengah cakap ni. I tengah fikir yang mana yang reverse, but there's too many fight scenes. Okay, anyway, Jabal, your reaksi satu ayat.
I think it's alright. One thing that Thousand Year Blood War did for me was visually adapting manga panels and then animating it. Jadi aku last time yang aku attend kita punya bedah ni masa Core 1 punya ni, benda yang aku puji Kubo is that dia punya silhouettes, dia punya character design is his strongest point, to the point that Bleach ada macam a bit of like, bukan fashionista tapi macam they look great as figures and they can be something that you can use to show fashion lah. Sebab Kubo has a very good aesthetics with regards to designs, as in
just to steal the podcast from Trash Taste, Bleach got drip, but that's about it lah. Anyway, go ahead.
I mean like, and then a lot of that fashion sense is very nice to see. Jadi bila engkau tengok Kubo punya strokes on the page, that especially from Hueko Mondo leading punya arc, going into this, kau nampak dia punya lines are much more cleaner, and then bila kau tengok the designs are much more sharper, and then bila kau tengok benda tu dianimasikan, dia jadi cantik lah. So that's the best thing that for me in Core 2 ni, sebab aku rasa macam the story is set. There is nothing much Kubo can do. Like even if he, had an epiphany 5 years ago and said, if I have a chance to do the anime, it would be a complete departure from the manga. It would be close to a betrayal to the fans that were loyal to Bleach, regardless whether they liked it or not lah. So, as much as he wanted to change it, dia tak boleh tukar. And I feel that Kubo as a storyteller is pretty limited. Jadi, kalau dia nak tukar pun, dia tak boleh tukar banyak sebab cerita tu still cerita yang sama. And the plots are just dah preset dah. So, he just had, kalau dia nak tukar pun, dia boleh tukar scenes, babak je. Tapi, makes not much of a difference. So, there's no point wasting time to go through all that stress all over again, and then create something that there might not be any guarantee that people will like. Especially benda ni dalam kan. So aku rasa macam that's my take for core 2 lah. I think I just enjoyed it visually. Tapi I got tired of it lah. I think this is very interesting. I got tired, or I never got tired of DBZ until it ended. Majin Buu punya arc tu, I never got tired of it. It might not be as interesting, but I never got tired of it. Super was really tiresome for me. But Bleach, the moment it got past the Aizen punya arc tu, dia dah nampak dia meander gila babi. Like at least DBZ going into the Majin Buu arc, it was a reprise. It was like, okay, this is the last hurrah. It had to be an alien with magic, because kalau alien yang pakai ability, siapa nak lawan Goku? They're too strong. So kena pakai magic yang boleh hypnotize and all that shit. So there was something more at stake. But at that point in time, because of how Dragon Ball Z brings in new enemies and new villains, we never really needed to care about where Majin Buu came from and where the creators of Majin Buu came from. That was never about it. That was never what it was all about. Tetapi dengan Bleach ni, because the payoff was at the end, kind of like Naruto, where okay, the payoff adalah Madara nak datang balik. So Bleach, the payoff is Yhwach nak datang, and Yhwach is the guy that tells you what is the relationship. It's the arc that tells you the relationship and the dynamics between the Quincy's and the Shinigamis kan. So Dragon Ball Z never had that. Dragon Ball Z was like, okay, the biggest villain dah kalah, the next one siapa? And the next one too doesn't need to have something to do, or doesn't need to be a continuation of the previous big bad. Which is why Dragon Ball Z kau tak ada feel bad tau. It might not be wow macam Naruto punya ending, but macam okay, it was satisfactory. Tapi Bleach you ada macam okay, build up, tapi you tak flesh it out. And then macam it was underwhelming. And then sekarang bila kau dapat the anime, it's just a matter of filling in the spaces lah, or the gaps. So for me, that I had no expectations lah. So for me, my review was that I enjoyed it visually, but there were things yang the moment you fill up the spaces to give it to add more, to flesh it out more, lagi lah kau nampak macam okay lah, Kubo memang either you were really tired and uninspired, or this is you're a limited storyteller, but you're a great designer. You design really great characters.
Fair points. Right, so we'll get on with lampu aku dah mampus lah. Okay, we'll get on to the segmen kita yang seterusnya, which is basically we're going to do the 7th episodes. Bermula dengan episode 20, I Am The Edge. Alright, so aku pemalas sikit, so aku menggunakan video sebagai apa, overlay. So essentially dalam I Am The Edge ni is just an episode following apa kita nampak at the end of Core 1, di mana Yashiro dan what's her name, the lieutenant to the now deceased Unohana tengah treating people in some underground bunker, only to be interrupted by this wizened looking Stern Ritter, calling himself Stern Ritter V. In essence, only to find out that this Stern Ritter is a figment of the imagination of the real Stern Ritter V. I mean, ni antara benda-benda yang masa aku baca a long time ago lah, aku semakin pening baca tau. Dia nak buat tak tahu lah whether it's meant to be convoluted, dia tunjuk dia power sangat ke apa. Tapi pendapat masing-masing. Let's start with Jamal lah, since you're first in the photograph. What are your thoughts on this episode? This is the episode where essentially you got that basically the kid the superpower kid yang in the end lawan dengan Zaraki Kenpachi, just recovered after fighting Unohana.
This is like aku nak petik balik ayat aku yang aku kata Kubo is a great character designer and I stand by that. Visually and conceptually. Tapi I think this is where his limitations as a storyteller comes through, because he has the tendency he has the penchant to buat a series of characters. Sebab idea dia banyak, dia kaya dengan idea. So kalau macam kata tengok Gote 13 captain, bawah captain ada lieutenant. Alright? So kalau kau tengok Ichigo and friends, dia ada 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 orang. Chat, Orihime, Ishia dengan Ishida Uryu dengan Uryu dengan Ichigo. Tu 4 orang. So dah ada 4 orang. And then Gote 13, 26 orang. Alright? Lepas tu Squad 0, 5 orang. 31. You go to Hueko Mondo, you had all the, what was their title?
Espada.
Espada. Berapa banyak? And then for this Stern Ritter, because dia conceptual, dia ambil a lot of German references. Lepas tu dia bagi the A sampai Z. So dia kena buat 26 karakter.
Yeah.
So this is him unnecessarily burdening himself with an idea that he never even fleshed out.
And burdening us.
Yeah. So and then he never fleshed it out. Like I will take 5 more years of Bleach if he never ended it when he ended it, and instead he explained kenapa kena 26. Why did you work design or create the Quincy's that way? Why the Quincy's ended up at 26 and Gote also ended up at 26 plus the lieutenants? You know, is that some kind of a symmetrical blah 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 yang ada this whole life and death philosophy? Benda tu tak ada. Tapi you can tell that he has these kinds of ideas leading his design. So, dan sebab design dia banyak, dia macam okay lah, kalau aku dah buat A, then dia kena fikir benda tu 26 kali. Okay, kalau A ni apa maksud? Oh, A is what? L is love. Tapi bila you tengok L is love, and then you go to Hueko Mondo, and then you go to ni, you tengok banyak sangat love punya archetype been repeated, and it's not novel anymore. So he loses this very quickly in a very short space of a very short period of time. Bila kau macam okay, I figured Kubo out, and then it makes it easier for you to feel dissatisfied in the last 2 arcs. Yang Grimjaw going into this arc, sebab kau dah rasa macam I've seen all your character designs. Ini aku tak masuk Viziers lagi ya. So dia macam like he has all these very nice character designs yang sometimes aku nak speculate. Kau suka sketch character first ke, and then baru kau figure out macam mana nak jadikan character tu satu siri, and then macam mana nak selitkan as part of a larger story, overarching storyline. So it gets really annoying because not the fact that even if all 26 are well designed, as a reader kau macam baca, okay, ini Stern Ritter A, okay, aku lagi 25 Stern Ritter. Lepas tu takkan Stern Ritter V, J, K dengan C nak kena lawan Kenpachi seorang? Then how do you fit in Kenpachi fighting these 4 Stern Ritters in a way that supplements and pushes Kenpachi's character development in the story along? Faham tak? So dia macam, oh my god, why do you do this to yourself? Whereas if you ask me, the idea of Quincy dengan Shinigami tak boleh bersatu dan sebagainya is cool enough, is great enough. Your visually your panels on the page is beautiful enough, especially with all the whites with the white spaces. Lepas tu manga pula bila kau animate nampak, especially masa Hueko Mondo punya arc, some of the fights you have with the espadas, Ulquiorra for example, was just absolutely beautiful. Jadi aku rasa macam sayang you it's like he thinks of things visually and then he tries to craft the story around it, but he does it on his own. He doesn't do it with a bunch of people. And dia jadi sayang lah. So that's my disappointment, because this character yang dilawan Kenpachi ni is a great example of that. When he was introduced, oh, this guy is fighting from another dimension ke? dia boleh cucuk ke, dia boleh tikam ke, dia boleh lawan ke, tapi people cannot see him or cannot detect him. And then sebenarnya, oh, you're just a figment of this actual Stenrita punya imagination. Yang power dia adalah imagination. And how did he lose? Oh, you lost because you wanted to beat me, but you imagined me as a monster and that's why you died. Like, conceptually the idea is cool, but during the execution kau macam, what, you gave us all this fight and that's how you died. And this was not even done in a way yang macam because the anime ni pandai tau, like okay, apa yang aku imagine akan menjadi. So kau perlukan dia lawan orang-orang macam, kalau dalam Naruto kau kena lawan orang macam Shikamaru, orang yang boleh figure out that little trick. Kau kena lawan siapa yang doktor dalam Bleach ni? Alah,
Doktor mana?
Unohana.
Ha?
Unohana.
Bukan Urohara, dia ada one. The one yang ganti Urohara tu.
Saintis gila tu kan.
Saintis gila tu.
Mayuri.
Mayuri. So you need this Stenrita to fight people like Mayuri who can figure out, haha, you pakai imagination. I'm gonna Jedi mind trick you to imagine me as something else, and then you lose to your own imagination. Last dia lawan Kenpachi, oh, aku tak pernah seronok lawan orang sampai aku lawan orang macam ni. Tak pernah rasa macam ni sebab aku selalu menang. And then I imagine you as this really strong pace character, aku kalah. Lah. Like, faham tak?
Tapi interestingly when you mention it like that kan, Mayuri masa we'll see later on, not only katalah obviously dia lawan Stenrita lain, as opposed to macam I let you imagine apa, dia dah macam 10 step forward with something. So you go like, wow, okay, when did you do this? But we'll get there when we get there. Anybody else want to add to what?
That's my ni lah.
Aku nak expand further on Jamalnya idea ni. I never thought of it that way, that Kubo is this type of character developer yang pandai tapi dia tak kerti buat cerita. So tiba-tiba aku teringat pasal macam this is like an RPG source book tau. Kau tengok tebal gila kan, dia bagi kau ada senario here, history dia macam ni, karakter macam ni wujud, bla 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 bla. Lepas tu kau bagi kat orang macam aku yang tak pernah jadi game master to run a campaign. So you have all these great characters inside, but you couldn't tell the story as someone who has been a game master for like 25 years. The difference in of this source book in his hands will be significantly higher. So dia pandai buat source book, something for people to refer to, but to create the full story itself tak jadi. Dia aku boleh compare dengan recently about 3 episode. It was memang it was just a promotional celebratory punya
Gundam tu, Gundam dekat YouTube.
The recent Gundamnya tu. Oh look, it's the greatest fighters here. Rematch here. Tembak tak sampai 20 saat. Switch to the new character who's piloting the new gunpla that is going to be sold. So macam like I've seen this like 10 times already. From the original time those two came out and to multiple times they have been referred to, and their battles have never been ended. So you have this great fight between characters who are so well developed, but it never gets cut off, never gets resolved. And then suddenly when you have the dream match of another within the Build punya series, Build Divers ke apa ke, the show up in this timeline, which is like, oh, I want to see this fight. Then they fly off to space, further up into the needs for the great grand battle that was not even showed. So you have great characters tau, macam like. Tapi untuk Gundam ni aku faham lah, memang dia sengaja nak tunjuk, nak tease people, belilah model-model baru ni, so aku boleh faham. So dalam when Bleach punya scenario macam ni, when Jamal mentioned that, you know, the characters are great but the storytelling is not, then I finally boleh faham lah. That ultimately, you know, just because you can make great characters doesn't mean you can tell a great story.
Actually, I would like even to just take you aside. By the way, great analogy. I really loved it. My point is, he doesn't even write great characters. He designs great characters visually. You know, and dia punya summary for the character punya background semua tu cukup, just nice. Macam kau, so your source book punya reference tu. But that's it. The connecting threads, the arcs for each characters, dia tak boleh buat. So kalau aku jahat lah, kalau mulut aku kurang ajar, aku just cakap Kubo is a fan of his own art. Dia suka sketch, dia suka sketch new characters, design new characters, and he's fucking great at them, to be honest with you. He's just fucking great at them. But that's it. And then he just enjoys it so much. Okay, I'm going to design 26 Stern Ritters. And because he had that conceptual base to design the characters to make it look like a series atau like part of a really tight group, dia rasa macam this is solid. Yes, the base is solid because you are designing it based on a concept. So every character ada uniformity, tapi dia ada very individual, ada a lot of individualism. Great, but there's only so much you can do. And the moment you do 26 Stern Ritters, Stern Ritter yang fire tu apa? If you look at him, you look at Grimjaw, and then you just go back to Hue Komodo punya arc, you can find another Vizier yang lebih kurang macam tu juga karakter dia. So nampak tak? Dia ambil template. Visual design, fucking great. Dia boleh buat lagi 10 tahun, kita akan suka karakter dia. As opposed to Kishimoto, the Naruto punya karakter tu, mangaka, when he did his new manga, a few years after he stopped Naruto, kau nampak dia tak boleh design new characters outside of Shinobi punya ni. That's not him. But in terms of fleshing out that one big story he had with Naruto, it's fucking great. So this is Kubo punya weakness lah, which is sayang lah. Because it's like, okay, kau nak repeat berapa banyak kali template ni, archetype ni, berapa banyak kali kau nak repeat, Kubo? So macam, it's quite sad.
Andre mentioned this already when we discussed it, kan, Andre? Remember you said when we were discussing the first half of the core regarding to how they design for Basby was like, and
he was Grimjaw diet. Grimjaw.
Yeah. And then you know what? Itu dia macam just because we have siapa nama dia? Siapa yang pegang Zabimaru? Selalu lupa nama dia.
Him as well, Renji.
Renji. Just because you have a Renji on the good side, you need a Renji on the bad side.
Yeah, on the bad side, yeah. So you got one Renji for the Espadas, you got one Renji for the
don't forget, you also have a reserve Renji in the form of Ikaku.
Betul? Sebiji.
And then for the longest time aku ingat Aizen join dia orang tau. The Yahawk team. Ini bukan Aizen. Lalu tengok power dia lain. Ini bukan Aizen. Dia punya drawing biji. The team that went up to
I see. You're talking about your Hajvals, is it? Yang blonde second guy in the team.
Yeah, because the thing is Kubo, bukan dia repeat dia punya designs. Bila kau buat karakter kau banyak, eventually you come to repeat certain things that you know you're particularly great. So dia jadi repetitive. Katakanlah dia tak buat 26 Stern Ritter.
Mungkin tak
have gotten the depression. Kita tak rasa begitu.
Exactly. Faham. Yeah, I agree with you actually. Like that was like 26. Even when he tried to kill some people off early on, still there's too many of it, and then it ends up tu lah. The beauty of it is that we can like pretty much finish this quickly. And like what Jamal was saying lah, in the end itu aja. That's what he is, a brain.
Tapi yang sedihnya is that bila dia buat karakter banyak macam tu and he doesn't have the space for it and dia dah tak larat as a mangaka, what happens is this is what you get in the manga lah. Characters dying off screen, characters dying in really really uncharacteristic ways. And then when he has no idea, okay lah, macam Syah cakap, reversal. Kalau karakter tu dia tak inspired dapat reversal punya ni, tak apa, Stern Ritter lain datang tolong bunuh ataupun Shinigami lain datang tolong bunuh. That's it.
Right. Okay. So I think itulah just to conclude this episode pretty much.
Hold on, I haven't given my 2 cents yet.
Oh, you haven't yet. Go.
Yeah, to elaborate on what Jamal said, right, yang Kubo ni is a fan of his own character design kan. I agree. And he's especially a fan of Zaraki for some reason now. He's the dullest character of the Gote 13. And he focused a lot of things to make him the coolest tau. Seriously. This guy, he kill off Unohana tau. Okay?
Yang sangat ada mystic. Yang ada very intriguing character.
very intriguing, very mysterious, but for the sake of, we have to make Zaraki this big badass who's a killing machine, right? We have to kill off Unohana. Seriously, it doesn't make sense to kill off that character, and doesn't even make sense story-wise not to have two powerhouses to join the battle with the Stern Ritters. You think there's a downside having Unohana and Zaraki fighting at the final battle? Tak ada kan?
Ada.
So
You can only have one Kenpachi.
Yeah,
Apparently.
the first time I watched Zaraki character kan in the second season of Bleach kan, when they try to attack society, right? They portray Zaraki ni kan as like a badass swordsman lah. When I think of a badass swordsman kan, I already have a picture now. It is not fault of Kubo at the time, but we had a very good show in the 90s called Samurai X now. Okay. We have Shishio, we have Aoshi, and that Christian leader tu yang Hitami Tsurugi punya master juga. These are all sword masters who are all badass because they have technique, or at least kan a special style. But Zaraki just swings the sword with yang pedadah retak, and for some reason that's enough for him to become a captain. And right now they try to make him like total badass after killing Unohana by having him fighting several Ritters. It's not annoying as it is frustrating because they're putting all this effort macam taruh air kat keladi tau. It doesn't actually improve his character at all because he's a dull character. Even his hairstyle tak berubah tau. Okay. Tell me about visually, right, Zaraki, what's the difference now? Seriously, compared to his enlightenment masuk the cave of trials with Unohana, I don't see any improvement. Apa dia? He became more what? Moody?
No, listen. Aku bukan nak defend pasal aku pencinta Bleach macam tak tentu arah, tapi at the same time there is a reason. As I said just now, there can only be one Kenpachi, and Unohana is a Kenpachi. So until she dies, Zaraki can be a real Kenpachi. Dia bawa nama tu. Pedang dia tak shikai pun. Pedang dia, as you say, pedang cabuk. Pedang dia in the shikai form macam parang, macam what you call it, Ichigo.
Okay.
And
let's say.
So he had to go to undergo that because remember it wasn't just an afterthought. There were bits where they said that the dead captain number 1 Genryu Sai cakap they didn't even want to teach him basic sword fighting skills because just in case he can so now because of the fact of this thing they decided okay lah, since this guy has this extra power yang kita tak pernah nak ajar, Unohana kata, okay lah, I'll teach him the whole thing, make him Kenpachi, but the price of that, he needs to kill me lah, because there's only one big Kenpachi. So that obviates your suggestion, why can't we have both of them in there? That's how it
Okay,
is.
seriously, okay. Seriously kan, this has been done in a lot of anime series now. Okay, say, for me to take on this student, blah blah blah, Henry must die at the end of my training. Okay, fine. At the end of the training, Henry does die. But for some reason, there's another person who looks, fights, and moves like Henry, but his name is like Sally. Okay, maybe my name and character is dead, but my real self can change. I will no longer go by the name of Kenpachi today. I go name of Sally Hiroshima or something like that lah. Whatever this afterwards, they just retire the character, but the character is still alive. It's like a loophole. And you're telling me that a bunch of soul society masters who have lived for centuries cannot even think of that loophole to get all of this Kenpachi system razzle dazzle, whatever the whatever things that they want to put on the Kenpachi punya mantle. Doesn't make sense to me. Okay. It really doesn't make sense in a practical way. Plus, do you find it a bit insulting kan that Zaraki kan the least imaginative character kan, the dullest of the Gote 13 kan, has defeated someone who can kill just about anyone kan with his imagination. Now, the concept of killing someone with your imagination alone kan is very frightening tau. It's almost godlike tau. It's like if I think you're dead, you're dead. That's almost godlike powers tau. Sorry lah.
I know this is like a plot device kind of thing. Macam dia kata aku jadi besi. Tapi kalau kau cakap kat aku, jadi aku boleh potong kau lagi because aku akan potong kau macam aku potong besi. So
okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That is fine. But how does Kenpachi get over that? That's my that's my issue.
This is the thing. I mean, obviously, he says that he can cut into anything. So, like even a fucking meteor he could cut. So, okay, this is dah masuk to the realm of, yalah benda ni kartun kan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like my balls bigger than yours. It'll go ad infinitum lah sampai bila besar telung kau. So in the end, like apa Jabbar cakap, in the end dia mati. Okay, what a monster you are. Tapi it's a bit tak sedap lah. Dia punya tak fulfilling. Tu faham, aku faham. Tapi masalahnya ada explanation untuk apa yang kau tanya. So aku macam fine lah kalau kau tak nak terima, tapi itu dah explanation. Bukan je aku buat sendiri.
Something came to my mind. Dragon Quest. Okay,
what?
Evan.
I don't know.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, there was a character named Evan.
Oh, the cikgu. Yeah, Evan.
Yeah. He was supposed to be dead, but because of he wants to mislead the whole world, right? That he was dead, right? He never showed his face afterwards, tau. Evan's dead, but the mass swordsman kan is alive. That's Evan. Something like that. That's the loophole for him to.
Aku rasa mungkin title Kenpachi tu bukan sekadar nama aku sekarang Kenpachi, kau tak boleh jadi Kenpachi pasal aku nak tak nama ni, name tag aku buat satu je. Tak. It's a matter of that title is tied to something else, to not just a name. So the person having the Kenpachi name, having thought the second person to be the next Kenpachi, has to die. And by the fact is, aku need to finish this. And the fight yang kita tengok nampak sekejap tu, dia bukan buat sekali harong. Oi, kata terror sangat bunuh Hana macam mana kita Zaraki boleh bunuh. Masalah je Zaraki every time dia nak melawan, dia kalah, dia mati, dia nyaris mati nyawa ikan, Unohana hidupkan dia balik. Ad infinitum. Kita tak tahu berapa lama, 2 bulan ke, 2 minggu ke, 2 tahun ke, dalam gua tu duk lawan sampai Zaraki sampai ke tahap yang dikatakan Kenpachi. When he finally kill Unohana, the Kenpachi title goes to him, and he finally got to hear his sword for the first time. Sebelum ni tak boleh dengar apa because he's such a, as you say, a dull, stupid person. So to think that there's no character development in that exercise, I find that a bit obtuse lah. Sorry to say, but I could see all that from. It's not that benda tu kena figure out, benda tu dia cakap. I mean that's
okay. It'd be something if Zaraki kill Unohana kan, and for some reason kan it become something like Highlander tau.
And he loved her. Kan. That's one more thing. He loved her.
Okay, fine. Doesn't matter about feelings. If he killed Unohana kan, and all her powers, skill, her experience kan transferred to Zaraki as a macam Highlander kan, I can understand why this thing has to be played out. But here's the thing tau, like what you said kan, the reason why Zaraki was able to be that strong kan, is because of his macam almost Saiyan punya factor kan, hampir mati, hidup balik, kuat balik. It's because of Unohana reviving him for God knows how many times. So, if that's the case kan, shouldn't he kept her alive as long as possible so he can actually become as strong as possible until he's very sure that he can actually slay everyone in the Sterita?
I think at the end point when Unohana died, that is the point that you're referring to. Because bearing in mind, up to now, he's just fought that. We're going to see him being lawan the other 5 characters kan. But
okay, yang aku nak cakap tadi, nothing much to do with this. I think the point that Andri is trying to make is that in every story like this lah, kan, this kind of shonen punya stories, you will have this Kenpachi / Wolverine / Lobo archetype / Incredible Hulk, if you want to throw that in as well. So you kena ada this archetype yang not necessarily big dumb, tapi dia big, dia just very, dia keras lah, this kind of very rough characters. Okay, a nice example where this kind of characters are done very tastefully, celebrating the archetype tapi they still fresh, is Jujutsu Kaisen's siapa nama dia? Selalu lupa nama dia.
Gojo.
Bukan Gojo. Bukan Gojo. His name is not Gojo. This guy. Your
Geto.
brother.
Geto.
Is it? Yang boleh tepuk tangan lepas tu tukar location tu. So the point that Andre is, okay. So the point that Andre is trying to make is, the first one that I want to say is, the point that Andre is trying to make is, you create this kind of archetype punya characters, you give him Kenpachi. The issue is not whether Kenpachi is his name or is a title that he has to inherit. It doesn't really matter. But you create such a boring character macam tu when you don't really flesh out the character, and then lepas tu, macam kau cakap tadi Kudo, the story is not even narrated. Dia just bagi macam tu je. Okay, Kenpachi sebenarnya title, dia kena lawan Unohana has been saving him, and Kubo has this very annoying style of telling all this in flashbacks. But the flashbacks is happening when they are fighting. So in the present, kita macam tengok, asal tiba-tiba Kenpachi lawan Unohana ni? Oh, ada serious. Lepas tu Unohana drops a bomb. Okay, next issue. And then and then for the next few issues, kau follow je that bomb. Oh, this is the story. And then he tells this in very, very convenient, read lazy style where, oh, Unohana bagi satu ayat, Kenpachi bagi satu ayat, Unohana bagi satu ayat, Kenpachi bagi satu ayat. The next 4 pages are just panels of them fighting, and then some cool special move. Lepas tu macam, okay, Kenpachi menang atau Unohana menang, Unohana bagi one big statement, and then you figure it out. Now that's his storytelling style. Fine. Be that as it may, criticisms or not. What happens to Andre is that bila dia tengok, oh, Kenpachi is just another character yang macam ni. Kau lawan Unohana, okay, you say something, Unohana say something. You don't really flesh it out. You think that it adds mystique and, you know, it's very intriguing because it's so mysterious, ayat tak habis. And then, bila tunggu lawan Yuak, and then Kenpachi needs to power up, he doesn't know how to power up, dia dah kena belasah dengan 8 Sternita, Unohana datang, this is the last time I will revive you, because there will be no next time. After I revive you, we will fight for the last time, and then you will inherit Kenpachi, the Kenpachi title. So for people like me and Anri, kita macam, oh, okay, so this is it lah, kan? But up to that point, we do not see any development from Kenpachi. So you can't necessarily say, oh, this is us telling you how Kenpachi is Kenpachi by killing Unohana.
Alamak.
As character development. That's the story of the character. Development is when 100 issues ago Kenpachi macam ni, lepas tu 20 issues after that something happened, tapi ada small different change, and then the 50 issues on, oh shit, he realized that what happened 50 issues before, and he did something about that. That's development. You literally see the character taking something that has happened and develop. Bukan, okay, tak ada lawan, kau tak nampak Kenpachi, tiba-tiba lawan Kenpachi datang pedang baru. Dia bukan macam tu. So that's not development. So that's why macam Andri kata, it's a boring character because it's not the issue of the archetype. It's the fact that you put Kenpachi there, where you have one big bad in the opponent's side, you bring Kenpachi down because Ichigo cannot fight two at one time. And then when Kenpachi fights, you go, wow, this guy is so cool. After the fight, Kenpachi disappears. Why? The story is about Ichigo and friends, Rukia and Renji. That's it. Faham tak? So then when it comes to the Unohana punya moment, it becomes convenient lah. We go like macam, oh, so now you are telling us Kenpachi, and this is a Kubo thing. So kau tengok berapa banyak Gote Captain punya cerita, backstory was fleshed out like this, and he repeats it every single time. So and then you have that against bila macam contoh Espada lawan Captain atau Captain lawan Sternita, this is the story of my power. And then the flashback macam mana Sternita tu jadi Sternita. This is my Bankai. And then the flashback macam mana dia dapat Bankai. So it's very tiring because you don't grow with the characters. You just see the character fight and then ni. So that's the first point. The second point is with regards to Kenpachi dengan Unohana tu. Kenpachi is the title. Unohana is the reigning Kenpachi before our Kenpachi. Now, Unohana is a completely different character altogether, completely different character archetype. Meaning the title of Kenpachi is not the characterizing, it's not the character. The title of the Kenpachi is something that the character does or something that the character has. And you can see that quality can be possessed or can be obtained by both a character looking like Kenpachi and a character looking like Unohana, which is very different in totality kan. So sekarang Anri's point is that kau dah ada character cool macam Unohana yang still boleh jadi ganas dan ya Allah, ganas gila babi macam Kenpachi yang macam Lobo/Wolverine ni, then you are wasting the manga where you sacrifice a really intriguing character like Unohana just because she had to pass the Kenpachi punya title to Kenpachi. So like an example that I would suggest to change this would be Unohana is Unohana because satu dia boleh rawat orang, that's her power. But she is also Kenpachi because her ability to rawat comes from her proximity to death. Dia memang suka bunuh orang. Dia ada bloodlust. That's why she became Kenpachi. Because every iteration of the Gote 13 kena ada satu Kenpachi. In this current iteration, it just happened to be Unohana. So when Unohana took in Kenpachi, lepas tu okay, aku revive dia, aku jaga dia dari kecil. And then sebab aku rasa dia boleh ganti aku, boleh sampai masanya nanti. And then what happens is bila Kenpachi defeats Unohana, you don't lose Unohana the character, but you lose Unohana the captain because she cannot rawat people anymore because her bloodlust has been absorbed by Kenpachi who killed her. Then it becomes very compelling. Because macam we still have Unohana, tapi macam she is not the captain anymore. Then you have a moment where she goes to her lieutenant, Captain Unohana, I'm not your captain anymore. And I cannot treat these people. You need to step up because now Kenpachi is not me. Kenpachi is Zaraki. Then I will then naik jadi administrator. Then it becomes really compelling because you put stakes to the character. Because you give the stakes to Kenpachi to become a great character by killing Unohana. Tapi what about Unohana? She's the captain. Dia bukan macam some random NPC. Dia captain. So nampak tak? Kau buang a nicely designed character with a great background. So this is Kubo lah. Faham tak? So it's not Anri's problem or Anri's fault for not understanding it. He does.
I'm not saying. I'm not explaining the question that he asked because he made it sound like the question has no answer, no validity.
Itulah. You're right in this. Aku faham. That's why I just didn't say anything. I waited for until both of you to finish. But this is Kubo lah, and this is interesting. Kita yang sayang Dragon Ball Z akan kutuk Dragon Ball Z. But you can never accuse Toriyama of making this mistake, this storytelling mistake. This example of Unohana.
I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z.
Like this Unohana Kenpachi punya thing. You go to Dragon Ball Z, kau cari mana ada benda ni? Tak ada. You go to Naruto, tak ada. So this is where Bleach loses. Like sayang ah. And this is also funny because you will passionately debate about this, which says a lot about Kubo punya creation. And I've said this the last time. Just because your characters are so nice, people get attached without even you needing to tell the story. And then you fuck up the story and we are still invested, but you know, in a negative way. Sebab kita macam, why? This is
it's kind of a wasted opportunity now.
Yeah, sangatlah. And we are not even saying this because we are questioning the status of Bleach as a big three. Benda tu siapa nak kita, we will fight till the end. All the weaknesses and the strengths. Tapi this is Bleach lah, sayang lah. Because macam I think maybe for you Kudo, which is this is a great thing, is that the moment you become attached, macam okay lah, this is the mangaka, this is how the mangaka tells the story. Okay lah. So kalau aku nak tahu kenapa Kenpachi, tiba-tiba finally dia cerita kenapa Kenpachi dengan Unohana macam ni, and then kau puas hati. So that's cool. Aku rasa kalau tak ada orang macam kau, fandom dah mati. Sebab macam you at the end of the day you go like, you know what, I get to read another issue of my favorite title. And I'm not gonna like overthink it ke this. I'm gonna be invested in it, but not in this way. But unfortunately, I guess, you know, the other side of the coin is people like me and Anri who's gonna go like, benda ni macam pelik. Macam Anri, he's gonna be vocal about it. Macam aku simple je, I'm just gonna walk away from the IP because it doesn't excite me or intrigue me anymore lah. Tapi itu this is Bleach. This is Bleach.
I has to add one thing. I'm vocal because I give a shit about it.
Correct. And this is how cool Kubo is. By sheer visuals, you make people give a shit about characters yang not necessarily fleshed out. Kan? Kau bagi Ichigo berapa banyak kali muka. Goku died, okay? Goku died and remained dead. Ichigo macam, yeah, you're not gonna die. Like, no, you're not gonna die.
Yeah.
Tangan tak patah Tangan tak pernah patah.
Aku dah add one more thing lah. I mean, one more thing. I mean, as I said, aku hanya explain apa yang ditanya. So, apa yang ditanya, aku jawab. And as you all eloquently said for the past 50 minutes, it's a Kubo thing. And get ready for this. Okay,
ready,
we've got, no. It's not like ini bukan statement merajuk ke apa, but we've got 5 more episodes to talk about. We've got 2 more course to talk about, and all of them, aku boleh repeat balik apa Jamal explain for the past 10 minutes. Tampal dekat video ni.
Yeah, man.
No, because
betul.
That's how it is. But the thing
That's how it is.
I mean, that's how I watch stuff. Like I keep telling people at infinitum, I don't sweat the small stuff. Takkanlah sampai membabi buta juga. Kalau macam benda tu macam ni kau buat, tapi aku tahu outcome dia macam mana, and then kau buat macam ni just nak bagi kita orang sudah tak apalah, buat je lah. But they will talk about this in the last episode.
Which is why it's great lah pada aku. Which is why it's great that you are doing that lah.
Yeah. Anyway, Syaz nak tambah apa-apa ke?
Tambah. I'm done.
We go on to
boleh. Aku just nak tambah yang Zaraki punya storyline tu dah banyak sembang dah. So aku just nak mention sikit yang pasal budak imagination. Apa ni? What was his title? V
The Visionary. Grammy Thomo.
Kan? Tak, anyway. Just another case study of a wasted character potential.
All of them are wasted.
Kalau you compare kan. Tak, aku nak buat comparison je.
I can do this all day.
And then died in like 1.5 episodes. To guy with no imagination. But when you compare dengan anime series lain, Death Note, where the whole thing was a great match of imagination and how to manipulate the other into, succumbing to a trick to the point where like, okay lah, I will write something that you cannot change. I will die, but in the end you still lose. Macam like, whoa, gila lah. I can't recall whether they actually did it or not, but that's the level of genius that they had to put in lah. So macam like, when I see this imagination character kan, aku macam like, oh my god, that's so great kan. But then it's like, kau kalah sebab kau tak boleh imagine aku boleh jadi lebih hebat dengan kau. Like,
Tak. Dia bukan kalah sebab dia tak boleh imagine. Dia kalah sebab dia imagine Kenpachi Zaraki is a monster. Dan dia tak boleh lawan. He cannot beat the monster. Sebab tu masa dia nak capai tu dia ni, because ayat Kenpachi adalah you did not realize. You did not realize that you just manifested me. Because before we started fighting, you did not care who I was. You don't know you don't care. You tak takut pun. Sekarang because you acknowledge me as a monster, means you acknowledge my power, and my power kau multi lah sebenarnya, sebab the only way you win is when I cannot fight you, because you can always out imagine me. Now you just imagine me as the biggest baddie that you are scared of, tapi somehow or rather you pun dah terkena tempias bloodlust aku. So macam tu je ke? Sebab the reason why aku petik benda ni is because peak Bleach for me was when Mayuri menang lawan the Espada. That was peak Bleach for me. Yang dia cucuk jarum tu, every second is 1,000 years. Aku macam mind blown gila. Macam wow, like how sadistic are you, man? But yeah, that is peak Bleach for me. Like damn son. So that is Bleach's Shikamaru lawan menang lawan siapa, Akatsuki tu. That is for me like the equivalent. So daripada situ, lepas tu kau create character Starita V ni, lepas tu dia kalah dekat Kenpachi sebab Kenpachi ni monster, tapi aku nak lawan monster ni. Tapi that kerana aku dah imagine betul kau ni monster, aku kalah. Aku mati. So macam okay.
But
I tak akan argue.
Okay, but that's it. It makes perfect sense on paper. Kenpachi is the Incredible Hulk, Lobo, Wolverine. Kalau kau nak kalah, kau takkan boleh kalah kalau kau lawan Lobo, another Lobo, Hulk or Wolverine. That will be fucking boring. So, on paper, yeah, I'm gonna make you fight somebody that can outbrain you. Betul? So, but how would you win? By making this person who is outbraining you a kid. So he makes childish mistakes because they're confident. On paper, that works. I am not lying. On paper, it works. But Kubo is Kubo. He does the execution. Ta-da!
And Kudo likes and buys the manga.
Hey, kita semua kat sini sebab kita suka Bleach. Saya bukan suka kita.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just being facetious.
Yeah.
Yang punya imagination tu, could imagine himself is like, oh my god, this is just like the fairy tales where I'm the heroic knight. Now the monsters appeared. I will summon the great magical items, so macam blah 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 blah. So macam like, yeah, I mean, Kenpachi could have been like, your imagination is great, but you could not imagine how strong I was, and then he smashed through. Macam like,
yeah, correct.
Oh,
that's then that has value. That whole imagination thing has value. So budak tu dia tak kalah sebab dia kalah sebab dia inexperienced. Dia bukan kalah sebab dia naif nak mati. So, yeah. That's a good point. I agree with Shaz.
Yeah. Okay, let's get on to the next episode. I mean, essentially, even when I was reading this 26 flipping stern readers, they all got their unfortunately annoying explanations. So get ready for it. So let's get on to segmen kita yang seterusnya, which is episode 21, the Headless Star. I think the most striking thing that happened in this episode was immediately after the death of the V, Yachiru disappeared, the lieutenant. There were a few clues already early on masa dia lawan Unohana, tapi pada that time aku buat the association pasal aku dah baca manga, tapi benda ni masih lagi tak explain secara satisfactorily among fans, or whether by people who seem to have delved into it really crazily. So whether or not this will be one of the other bits where, like, Kubo will add an explanation to help people like us understand it a bit more. But apakah teori Yokohama anda tentang where Yachiru is, Andri? Yes, okay. Shazli, tak. You went.
Let me just give you overview lah. Yachiru is also one of the characters in Bleach where I can't seem to have any long-term attachment. It comes as a fan lah. It's apa nama Nene, the dull-looking assistant for Mayuri. She's more interesting than Yachiru, and she's dull-looking as fuck now. Yachiru tries to be funny, but it doesn't actually hit the targets. But that said, kan, you ask me what I think about Yachiru kan, I tengok Yachiru dengan interaction dengan Zaraki kan over the years, right? I always thought kan that she is related to Zaraki kan when it comes to dia punya background tau, macam dia punya bangkai tau, like a missing component tau. If you realize or you tak tengok Dragon Ball kan Z, okay, in Dragon Ball Z kan, the Buu character right become stronger once dia separate dia punya good self dengan bad self tau. Okay, component dipisahkan, and of course the evil component is very very strong, much stronger than the combined parts tau, because he has no limits tau. I think Yachiru kan is perhaps Zaraki punya bangkai, or Zaraki punya innate punya, bukannya nak kata imagination, innate powers kan, given given form tau. Because I believe Zaraki kan, as dull as a character as he is kan, I think this is what is part of this probably comprised of tau. I mean, for him to actually absorb, get rid, or Yachiru transcend kan, at the end of the day kan, she has to disappear. So I think that's the character. I think she's the missing piece of apa Zaraki kan, dia become a complete ultimate warrior lah. Dia punya bangkai or whatever it is lah. It's one of those things lah.
Yeah. Anybody else? Because anybody else got any
Aku
ideas?
sangat berminat dengan Anri punya statement tu. That means you are referring to Yashiro ni sebenarnya adalah manifestation of Zaraki punya sword punya the soul of his sword. So now that he has finally awakened the Shikai, so Yashiro will cease to exist.
Yeah, because we already see an entire season kan where they fought dengan dia punya renegade bangkai tau. You know, they're given human forms. So it is possible for this to happen now.
Dah lah yang tu filler punya season. You got anything else to add, Jamal?
No, aku when we did not need to come this far. Dah banyak orang speculate benda ni dulu lagi. So even if Kubo kata tak, this is my design notes, Yashiro ni bukan macam tu, cool, but I would personally like to believe it as such. Because I feel that conceptually it's perfect. Because bila kita tengok flashback on apa nama ni Zaraki punya history, punya backstory, kan he was killing people and then he was very very young. And I feel that if Yashiro is not even a manifestation of his Zapanguto, Yashiro is a manifestation of his lost youth, of his lost innocence. So and then benda tu, the moment he started holding the sword and he started becoming a Shinigami, the manifestation took shape, took form. Because like how he was able to find his own sword yang sampai berkarat-karat pecah-pecah tu, and sort of like focused everything about his being onto the sword. The more he did that, the more Yashiro manifested lah and found a form. So he always need Yashiro because that was how he keeps in check with himself without him realizing, sebab dia tak sedar benda tu. So let's just say macam aku refer back to what I said. Okay, if I were to write Unohana versus Zaraki, this is how I would have done it. Katakanlah benda tu berlaku, then I would have made Yashiro something that Unohana yang manifest. Then kau bayangkan the dynamics is just so great. Faham tak? You tiba-tiba kau nampak Unohana macam first kau dapat the whole, oh dia doktor tapi too quiet. Oh sebenarnya dia Kenpachi. Tapi sebenarnya dia bukan Kenpachi tanpa sebab. Sebab memang kena ada orang Kenpachi dan dia dulu ni sebenarnya baik. Tapi bila dia jadi Shinigami, ada trauma yang besar. So trauma yang besar tu, dia punya punishment adalah, oh engkau dapat bloodlust dan kau telah bunuh ramai orang. Atau kau telah nak, you went to seek revenge. So kau punya hukuman adalah kau kena rawat orang. Dan kau kena cari Kenpachi yang baru. Jadi bila dia jumpa Zaraki, dia tolong Zaraki jadi the next Kenpachi and dia manifestkan Yashiro. If you write that shit out, dia compelling gila babi tau. Then you will get a moment where Kenpachi finally says goodbye to Yashiro, which is a metaphor for him saying goodbye to his old self because he has finally accepted who he is as a person. Dia dah tak mencari lagi. Dia dah ada bangkai, pedang dia punya, dia dah boleh dengar pedang dia punya Zapakuto dia dah finally boleh keluar sebab dia dah tak ada konflik dalam diri dia. That terus akan redeem dia gila babi. Tanta Anri pun akan cakap Kenpachi Zaraki is a fucking cool character. He had us all in the first half and then in the last 10 fucking minutes Kubo, made a 4-goal comeback. Yeah, Anri would have, waxed lyrical about it. And if that were to happen, any shit about Bleach punya final arc ni orang akan maafkan because nobody would have expected Kubo to give Zaraki so much depth. Tapi this is us talking in hindsight lah kan. How many years after Bleach has finished. So susah lah. But yeah, this is it lah. This is aku percaya macam tu. I don't care if Kubo says no she's not. She is just the Soul Society punya manifestation nak teman Zaraki sebab Zaraki punya dia tak dengar Zapankuto dia. So he needs a lieutenant to help him out. I don't care. I just think it's way cooler if she is a manifestation from something inside of him. And it looks so great. Dia budak kecil Kenpachi besar gila. So it's like the juxtaposition so cool.
And I agree with you. I got a feeling also tak adalah Kubo akan deny the whole thing because he's already made her disappear. It's just that dalam apa yang kita pernah baca sampai habis pun tak ada explanation yang satisfactory. So this got nice comment here from Footproof. Zaraki sangat OP, Yachiru tu dah lah kuasa bangkai Zaraki hidup macam orang pula dan dia ada tapak kotor yang ada roh sendiri pula. So you know a thought that has her own thought that can be, you know, anyway. Something else about this episode also, other than the disappearance of Yachiru, is the fact that actually episode ni banyak benda happening. 3 section in my opinion were people being rescued. First one was this, the Bambis were attacking Zaraki Kenpachi just after we were trying to argue very much that this guy is now supposed to be the biggest bad ever, and yet he got walloped by 4 girls until Ichigo, the bigger bad, arrived to the rescue. 1. Then we've got Renji, Rukia, Byakuya, and the 3 lieutenants arriving in time to tell Ichigo to. Ini another thing aku bit frustrated with this, bukanlah bit, quite frustrated dengan cerita ni, is that dia penat-penat turun, dia kena pergi naik balik. and last kali is the bit where they finally got to see their friend Uryu joining Yuhabaha nak pergi atas. Tak tahulah macam mana kita nak cakap pasal ni, tapi because kalau nak cakap every single one pun boleh, nak cakap it generally pun boleh. What?
Aku start yang ni.
Yeah, you go ahead.
This was my biggest annoyance.
Because kau cakap, aku akan cari gambar yang relevan dengan apa kau cakap. Okay, go ahead.
Tak, I cannot talk specifically for each specific.
Cakap.
Generally this is the thing that
Cakap je.
kan. Nanti kena reverse susah pula kan.
Preach brother, preach.
So okay.
Cakap lagi.
The thing kenapa I got really annoyed with Bleach in the original run before the 1000-Year War, because they tend to make reversal into reversal. Macam lah aku guna 10%. Then the other guy, sebenarnya I'm using 5%. And then this guy cakap, aku tipu, I wasn't even using any of my strength. So macam like, that was a boring thing, because you make a reversal that came out from nowhere without any implications. Now, dia berbeza dengan Dragon Ball tau. Because dia punya evolution of power in Dragon Ball, dia ada implication dia. Like it drains you more, or macam siapa nama? Siapa sikit talk tu yang bukan the villain yang selalu sekarang ada golden
Frieza.
form tu. Alamak. Frieza. The moment he became his final form kecil tu, dia dah tak boleh go stun lah. He cannot change back to his previous forms. So it was a sacrifice made. So
bukan Dragon Ball jadi kecil balik
tak, itu lain. That is the next story. Itu
Daima.
Itu dia orang dah habis idea sebenarnya. So kalau nak they ran out of ideas how to fight at the god level punya ni. So like okay lah, kita revert to something that kita tahu how to tell cutesy small character punya storylines. But anyway, the whole point of this is that I was hoping kalau dia nak buat reversal tu, there would be, how shall we say, consequences tau. But there's none. Ultimately, dia selalu akan jadi, this group is more powerful, or sebenarnya teknik kau ni tak cukup mengatasi teknik aku, like the zombie punya fights. And then later on, look, zombie captain, tapi aku dengan mudahnya mengalahkan dengan ubat. So macam like, so your reversals have no meaning, because the first reversal got reversed again within a few minutes. So as much as I didn't like the whole concept of reversal into reversal masa the original one, at least there was some time tau antara reversal 1 into reversal 2 into the final reversal. There was time for you to be like, wow, appreciate that sebenarnya bangkai ni baru bangkai stage 1, there's a bangkai stage 2 kind of thing. So which I never seen before. And like, oh, tapi kalau you visor, it's going to be even worse. So there was more storytelling in terms of those kind of reversals in the original time, in the original punya run. In this case, disebabkan the limits of how much episodes dia ada and how much story writing he had in the manga, the reversals happen too fast. And then you're like, aku baru nak appreciate si Bambi ni punya power, dah kena lanyak. After that came back again, pun kena lanyak balik lah. You tak sempat nak appreciate the ni lah, which is partly goes back to Jamal ni initial point. Dia pandai buat karakter tapi storytelling dia a bit weak.
Sage. Betul.
Kalau peminat BuzzPop yang tengok movie kan, dia mesti cakap, alang kau ni cakap pandai buatlah anime sendiri. Ha. Just because we can kutuk just because we don't know how to make something doesn't mean we cannot tell it's not good.
Syaz, actually the real answer to that is simple je. Kalau kau pandai buat anime, kau buatlah, pandai cakap je. Sebab tu lah kita cakap. Sebab kita tak pandai buat anime. Sorry.
Pandai sembang je kan.
But Syaz's point is correct. We are not talking about from a professional standpoint. We are talking from an experiential standpoint as fans. Tu je. So kita punya point of view tu datang daripada kita punya pengalaman sebelum ni, tengok banyak benda yang kita suka, kita pun dah develop kita punya taste, cita rasa kita sendiri. So bila kita tengok benda tu, benda yang pada kita rasa canggung, kita cakap lah. Benda yang kita rasa tak cool, kita cakap lah. Setuju tak setuju, betul tak betul, itu separate. But we cannot deny the fact that kita rasa benda tu. Tu je. So ada setengah kita, ada member yang buat channel BuzzPop. So kita dapatlah peluang nak bising. Itu je pun, tak ada apa-apa pun. Kudo cari gambar lagi ya?
I've been talking without unmuting my mic.
La ilaha illallah.
Tak macam aku cakap ni, which in a way alhamdulillah, because I think I said something just now which I shouldn't have said in public. Tak ada. Jadi yang tukang buat video untuk BuzzPop ni pun tak tengok benda lain, hence his limited panggil. Bukanlah nak kata limited to the point jadi peminat bodoh, tak ada tak boleh faham apa cerita tu macam tu ke macam ni ke. Tapi at this point of time, my big 3 experience is big 1.5. Kalau Naruto aku bertakat Akatsuki je, and then aku give up. So I can't tell anything more lah. And that experience was 17 years ago, and I can't be asked to remember anything. Where was I? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Actually, Syaz dengan Jamal, tak ada apa lagi. Are you guys got anything else to add to what Syaz has said with regards to
Andre.
I'm probably gonna nak kasih apa kudo marah lagi lah, because I find this.
No, go ahead. Then I'll if you got anything that I don't agree, I will say it lah.
Okay, this whole scene dengan Ichigo kan lawan dengan the Bambis kan, is pound for pound the BG Dragon Ball Saiyan punya arc tau. Okay, dia
pergi. Tengok, aku tak pernah tengok Dragon Ball.
He went to see God, train with God, and then come back from the serpent punya highway, something like that tau. He went to see the Soul King, and then he goes back, and then he had to hope that his friends can last long enough for him to arrive to save the day tau. Okay, and the Bambi is basically the genius squad tau. So Kubo is actually borrowing stuff from the senpai Toriyama. And then we go to see kan all this fighting that happening with the Bambis, right? The Bambis are supposed to be interesting enough, you know, to actually pique our interest and to actually macam be a threat to Ichigo, but you see Ichigo kan macam just like one hit them apa macam tu. It's like he could have killed them anytime he want tau, but for some reason kan he doesn't do so tau. But when he knows kan that these Stenritters kan, especially these Bambis kan, are very murderous motherfuckers. Okay. So I don't see why the point kan he's being so lenient to them tau. And then the part kan yang betul-betul sakit hati annoying kan is when he sees Uryu kan with Yahwak tau, nak pergi kat Shoki kan, nak balik. I'm telling you, after like 10 plus seasons kan, you're still reacting kan like a small child kan, seeing your favorite friend kan playing for the other team kan in a dodgeball game tau. Uryu, we're friends right? Don't go, we're friends. Come back to us. Don't hurt my feelings. Oh, this is the feeling that I get when I see Ichigo kan, all his powers and badness kan, seeing his friend go up to Yahwak now. I mean, if Ichigo actually has macam character growth or at least character maturity at this time kan, he would have put more trust on Ichigo. He would say, he wouldn't just scream at Uryu. He would probably just say something like, Uryu, are you sure you want to go down this path? Something like that, right? You know, be matured. I mean, in the next few years, guys, he's probably going to get married to Orihime, according to what I see in the manga lah. Okay, and you're acting like a 10-year-old. Apa? And then after that, when Uryu dah cabut pergi kat Soking, he's having these talks with all the circle lah, Chad, Shadow, and Orihime. Try to reconfirm kan if Uryu is still the ally or friend. Come on lah man, you know Uryu kan apa, he probably has something in his mind, or worst case scenario he's the enemy and we have to deal with it once we cross that bridge, you know, something mature to talk. But no, let's hold hands, talk about feelings and worry about things that may or may not happen now. Yeah, so it is very annoying in terms of storytelling by Kubo at this point. It's like macam they don't grow mentally. Okay, it's like the big coping mechanism kan, is just reacting now, just react, and it's actually discredit to all the characters that he has been made lah.
Can I just add or rebut? Dia budak teenager 16. Berapa banyak budak 16 tahun kau tengok dah mature, unless kau hidup zaman Nabi ke, where you faham tak? Bukan dia aku nak ni.
Okay. That would fly, except that he's been training and been interacting with some of the most oldest creatures in creation now.
He's still a kid though.
And they can actually take a drop of wisdom from every interaction, you know?
I don't know. No. I've never, as a 16-year-old, probably I was still main Star Wars toy. Baca buku.
Habiskan ayat.
Main Star Wars toys. Cikgu aku semua tua dia aku. Tak mature pun. Tu akulah. Tapi I don't know. I mean, as far as concerned, then why can't we argue? Why is it that Orihime and Sado were too mature, were mature enough to say, "Oi, Ichigo, kau asal kau berboyan sangat ni?"
Okay. How about this? Let's throw away what I said about maturity, right? Let's just say kan about the punya bond, okay? For 10 season plus kan, they have been fighting with each other. Fought with each other, side by side, against each other pun a few times, and they have established a bond. You mean to tell me kan that all this experience and bond kan means shit apa at the end of the road kan, where he cannot even put an ounce of trust of Ishida kan of doing the right thing, even though he's not telling him anything.
Tapi kan benda ni bukan macam kau tengok dia dalam susah siot. Tak tahulah, dia tak ada signal apa langsung yang dia sebenarnya ada plan. Kita tak nak cakap banyak sangat, nanti spoil lah. Cakap macam ni dah tahu lah. Syah juga akan cakap, kau cakap macam tu spoil lah. Tapi I don't know. Aku as Al-Jamal pun bercakap macam ni, we are explaining things through our own experiences. Perhaps you're more mature than I am when you were 16. I'm not. You know, I see my friend going against what we believe in. I would look like that. Why?
Aku tak rasa benda tu pelik. Aku rasa benda tu pelik. Aku just rasa yang Kubo did not flesh out the relationship between Ichigo and Oryu outside of whatever we see them do together. That's it. So this is us projecting lah. Alah, asal Ichigo macam ni, asal Ichigo tak macam ni, asal Oryu macam ni, Oryu tak macam ni. Semua ni kita projecting je. And I think partly is because Kubo failed to flesh out the characters. And that's why we projecting. Kalau macam Naruto, the moment you dah sampai part Naruto yang diorang dah jadi macam dah move past the adolescence, and then the great big war dah started arriving, you don't question their choices, you just don't agree with it. This is Anri. I don't think this is Anri not agreeing. Not just this. I don't think this is just Anri not agreeing with Ichigo's choices. This is Anri questioning Ichigo punya character, which is directly related to how the character was written and fleshed out. So, granted dalam Naruto tu, it had at least a couple of hundred more issues that fleshed out every single damn character before they arrive at the same age as Ichigo is at this point of the story in Bleach. So dalam Bleach ni, that is the kekurangan lah. Kita kekurangan between 100 to 200 issues of these characters just being fleshed out, their relationships and their dynamics being fleshed out. What we have is just dynamics. Kita tak ada character relationship. Kita ada dynamics je. Ichigo macam ni, jadi bila dia dengan Orihime dia jadi macam ni. Ichigo macam ni, bila dia dengan Chat macam ni. Ichigo dengan Oryu macam ni, so bila dia jumpa macam ni, bila dia tak jumpa macam ni. We just have that. Kita tak akan nampak yang macam bila Ichigo nak buat something, give me a scene yang kita ingat yang bila Ichigo nak buat macam ni, buat something, kalau Oryu mesti dia akan kecewa dengan aku kalau dia buat macam ni. Lepas tu Ichigo ada konflik. Yang the most that we get is Orihime teringat, how is Ichigo doing? That is not relationship. That is a character wandering or missing another character. That's it lah. So,
by virtue of what you've explained, which is I agree, it's not something that didn't dawn on me. This is a manga of 74 volumes that's from head to toe dah habis. And it's a given lah for me, as far as I'm concerned, that the story has to be explained unsatisfactorily, maybe. So that's why orang macam aku terima je, because aku tahu cerita tu.
I cool with that. Memang, for me that's how I accepted it as well.
So it's nice to know Dragon Ball Z has whatever, Naruto has 3 million pages ke apa. That's fine, but itu cerita diorang. Ni cerita ni. You know, I don't watch this thinking of Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas ke apa ke. You know, I just watch this.
Martin Scorsese tu siapa? Aku tak tahu Martin Scorsese. Aku tengok Marvel.
You need to you need to broaden your horizons, mate. I know. This is cinema. Anyway, sorry. Chas wanted to say something.
We can. I know you just mentioned that you tak nak compare with the rest in general.
No, kau tak nak compare. I cannot compare. I cannot go back in time and watch what you've read or looked at.
Yeah. So aku nak just, sebab aku tak baca the manga, so my only reference is comparing what I see on the anime dengan other material lah. So aku teringat this point dalam Dragon Ball punya series, I think it was in Z, whereby Vegeta jadi jahat balik in a sense, but Goku ultimately believe that, you know, I know there's still good in you, and it's like, kenapa kau buat macam ni? So kalau kita compare Ichigo punya reactions, it doesn't reflect somebody who has been to hell and back punya level of trust That is like, I don't know, you could have just made it a simple line. Kau tak nak jawab aku tak apa, but whatever you're doing, jangan lupa that we are still friends. You just have to put that one line kan. And it's like, Ishida will be like, oh shit, he put this on me kan. But it also then reflects that Ichigo still believe in him. So dalam kes ni, kau buat apa, jawab aku, kau buat apa, macam like, you don't trust him ke? Kau dah went through hell and back. You've seen dimensions and realms that we, the normal people have not seen. You have fought things which is beyond human punya logic. And your first reaction like, kenapa kau buat macam ni? Like, ayah, dia dah tak nak jawab tu ada sebab lah, you know. So yes, dia memang budak in the sense of his age, but I would imagine even budak having gone through so much shit together would have much more trust with each other lah. That's my opinion on this lah. Dia punya dynamics dia.
Yeah, because because as I said, I can only based on my, well, bukan all of us pernah ada experience melawan setan-setan macam ni pun, tapi macam
Aku ada.
as I said, ada. Tak apa.
Ada,
we'll
aku kecil-kecil dulu
Apa ni?
macam aku kecil-kecil dulu satu shinobi dengan satu kampung dengan Naruto. Macam silang.
So
Aku lawan Diablo je.
Alah babi lah.
Unfortunately Kubo tulis Ishida saja as opposed to Ishida, why are you doing this? But the whole thing is pretty much itulah, aku tak tahu lah. I mean, okay lah, kita nak discuss ni, termasuk juga memberi pendapat tentang if only the story was like this and like that. So macam aku punya otak aku limited kot daripada aku tak soal banyak tau. Aku macam certain thing lah, kalau betul-betul obvious, macam suddenly kalau Ishida betul-betul jadi jahat ke apa ke whatever ke, dan aku tanya lah. Tapi macam I think because at this stage aku dah baca kot cerita, pasal tu aku tak soal banyak. So aku macam aku no offense, I mean we are doing this for a reason. So
macam aku tak question, aku just nak tengok apa changes yang dia buat. Sebab I feel that there is no compelling reason for him to do this. I don't think the world is clamoring for Bleach, 1000-year Blood War. So the fact that he's doing this means it's very personal lah. So aku tak question lah benda tu. Adalah kekurangan yang dia nak patch up, dan aku tengok benda tu je lah. Then I just leave it at that lah for me.
I mean I've seen some video essays of people who are more invested, yang macam to the point of pentak soap. Aku tak adalah sampai jadi pentak soap. Tapi macam you do you, man.
Diorang tu content creator, diorang kena taksub, kalau tidak diorang lose follower. Itu je.
for the content. So anyway, so let's see what chat says. I've been tadi flop Bleach. Yep, that's your opinion. Yeah, it's not a perfect show lah. I mean, I agree lah, but what you call it?
I think I would say Bleach is a flop to its own promise. So my parting words would be like, buatlah something yang boleh give this much promise for it to flop. So I would rather crumble under my own pressure because I had so much promise than not having a good story in the first place and it's just a whatever thing.
Dan Rambo tanya Bleach ni sampai 4 core ke? Mengikut apa yang diorang cakap, it is 4 cores. So 54 episod potong-potong jadi 54 jilid, you mean? Kepada siapa yang dah baca manga ni, you will notice that quite a lot of chapters have been condensed like crazy. Actually, in my opinion, saya suka pasal masa saya baca dulu, sakit kepala aku, tak macam in fact, masa lawan the kid Grammy, the visionary tu pun macam, where the hell are we going? And to see it done in one episode was best. Oh yeah, we'll talk about this in a bit. Okay, we'll talk about this in a bit. Foodproof kata Oreo acah-acah Sasuke, Ichigo acah-acah Naruto. MN Syafiq, mentang-mentang Seiyu Oreo dengan Sasuke sama. Sama I didn't know that. But there you go.
Sasuke! Naruto!
I remember that's your favorite.
If they scream like this in Bleach kan, okay. Tapi Sasuke, Naruto.
Okay.
And I was like, what the hell?
wrong anime. Okay, guys, we'll go on to the next 2 episodes at the same time because of the same title. Episode ke-22 dengan episode 23, Marching Out the Zombies 1 and Marching Out the Zombies 2. Yes. Walaupun title dia macam ni, we're supposed to show this picture. So basically the bits that we have in this episode pun banyak juga. Satu, perjumpaan Ichigo dan rakan-rakan untuk kembali ke Ryokyu. So untuk aku part ni macam penat je kau turun, lepas tu kau kena naik balik. It's like what the hell, man. Tapi nak buat macam mana, dah ada tulis cerita macam tu. So tapi in the meantime, because of this, we have exposition lah tentang apa yang dibikin Urahara selama ni. Because in the past past core and this episode kita nampak little teasers of Urahara bercakap dengan karakter-karakter lain yang kita kenal daripada season-season yang lepas. So first things first, benda yang dibawa oleh Yoruichi after a long time is Reishi daripada dunia nyata, from little cracks in the substance of whatever it is, time or whatever. Apabila every time Yubaba does havoc in Serete. What are your thoughts on this bit where, okay, this is what they are having to bring back from the from kita punya world, and the fact that they've got all these other characters. Like for example, we've got the Visor back in the fold. Anybody want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to mention that this is the convenient style of story writing that Kubo is used to. So macam tiba-tiba, here you go, plot device. Tiba-tiba, this is what we needed. And instead of flashback and this kind of thing, they just cakap one guy show up. Oh hey, I did what you asked me to do. Macam like, okay. So dia punya, memang dia is consistent lah dia punya story writing ni. So secara tak langsung, sebab kita dah condition to this, so this is one of those things that, okay lah, aku terima je lah. Kau dah kata macam tu, aku terima je. Just like macam dulu, bangkai kita boleh holofy kan. So macam like, what is this nonsense now? You can holofy your bangkai. Macam like, okay, dia punya story, so aku terima je lah. So in the end, well, I guess we are in it for the visuals lah.
Anybody else?
Let me just say it's all CPDs lah, convenient plot devices at play. I mean, it's like it's like everything is conveniently, prepared, laid out. I mean, who knew kan apa those Reishis yang they collect kan is going to be, powering up their cannons, shooting up. If you go back to, the Soul King punya palace, I tak terfikir pun. It feels like something you pull up from your ass, but you know what? It's a plot device. It's supposed to be like this lah. I would have thought kan those Reishis kan, they're going to gather kan, collect kan, and to determine dia punya energy source apa-apa kan. No, now they're just going to use it as fuel lah to power up the submachine lah.
So convenient. You had just one throwaway episode or just one line, macam like the other scientist punya captain, dia punya team kata lalu, what's this? Ni benda baru. Oh, I'm researching this Reishi, tak payah buang masa lah. I can't figure out what to do with it. Then suddenly this guy is like, dia sebenarnya tak pandai macam aku. And then Yoichiro, apa? What's that name?
Yoruichi.
Yoruichi brings all of that. Dia like, kenapa kau suruh aku cari benda ni? Siapa penat aku je. And they say, oh, because I'm smarter than that guy, I kind of figured out that I curi some of his research notes, then I realized, oh wait, this one you can make as a fuel. So like, I don't know when I will use it, but I just store it in my mind. Then suddenly like, well, now we need to send somebody up there. Now we have the fuel for it. You see, just a simple throwaway line in an earlier episode, just to menunjukkan that yes, the other captain was very smart in making poisons and whatnot, but even he could not figure out what to do with this stupid reishi that aku dah sebulan dah try to figure out what this thing is, but I cannot figure it out. And this guy pula lebih kurang 2-3 hari je, oh betul juga we could think of it this way. But no, out of nowhere, aku dah suruh dia kutip, benda ni kau boleh jadi fuel. Macam like kau shortcut the process tau. When a simple scene, a throwaway scene like that, oh benda ni aku tak tahu apa benda nak buat lah, bermasa aku je research, would have been the perfect setup to show why this guy is a smarter character than a captain. So dia macam like abruptly, here you go, this is the plot device, without any allusion or any reference to it long ago. You want to see a great world building, franchise building guna plot device ni, kita boleh tengok MCU phase 1 to 3, how everything tied up to the Avengers punya finale. But they show, oh, this one is the Tesseract Cube, this one is so and so, this one is so and so, all the way leading to the penultimate point where everything became the main plot devices to finish that phase 1, 2 and 3. So macam dalam case ni, he missed that part. Sayang kat situ lah, because it was just a small throwaway line je. It would have been so great.
Yeah.
Plot
Also, don't
device.
forget, one of the greatest tragedies kan is we were denied the scene between Yoruichi dengan Orihime.
Oh, tu baru nak cakap, tapi nampak kat belakang tu. Aku nak tambah aje lah. Yes, I agree with you that with regards to, you know, we can repeat this again and again, back to Kubo and his not inability or his lesser ability to perhaps provide a better way how the story should have been provided. But just taking your point, Syaz, tadi pasal plot devices, because plot devices, like you said, isn't exactly a bad thing kan, because like as you said,
It's not a bad thing.
yeah, because you know, plot armor ke plot device, it's not like, well, that's how it is. But unless kau nak cerita every single thing lah, I have no patience for that.
Memang.
I have no patience for that. So untuk aku benda macam ni is like, that's what it is. Okay, cool. Onwards. Cool, let's go back up. So, you know, I don't feel personally, daripada aku punya pandangan, aku tak rasa deprived of any experiences in a previous episode, or I wish I had known about this a bit earlier or whatever. I mean, that's fine by me as far as I'm concerned. But you know, it's like, for example, Yoruichi has been away for so long. We've not seen her since Aizen good. So I think among the other things, like, you find it good that you mentioned Avengers. Untuk aku lah, whether this is a good or bad thing, I just wondered if it's going. I mean, it does look like it's forming Infinity, about Avengers Endgame kind of picture, because they're like taking every single character back, daripada Espada ke apa Fullbringer lah to Vizard. So it's like the whole gang's back together again to fight this big bad. Do you guys think that's what he's trying to do?
I think he's just rushing through it. I think Kubo has like a big story, and then he's conveniently broken them down into parts. So you know, you end with UNTUK, but before UNTUK you had that little short arc, and then before that you have the Grimjaw punya arc kan, selaku. And then that before Grimjaw was apa nama ni, Aizen, and then before Aizen was Huecomondo, and then before Huecomondo was blah 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 blah. I think all that is there because because bila dia reveal the relationships, bila dia slowly reveal the relationships between, say, a Shinigami and a Hollow, and then a Shinigami and a Vizier, and then the Shinigami and the Espada, and then all that, when they slowly reveal, and then eventually leading up to launch to the Quincy's, and then slowly showing dynamics, and then revealing Ishin punya backstory, benda-benda tu looked like it was plotted out. It did not feel unnatural. It did not feel like out of place. It did not feel like Dragon Ball Z. Macam Dragon Ball Z, lepas habis lawan Frieza, kalau kau baca at that point in time, the question that is in your mind is that, okay, lepas ni lawan apa pula? Tapi Bleach never gave you that, because immediately after the Aizen punya story habis, there will be a convenient, Uruhara akan cakap, ada benda ni, kau boleh tolong tak check? Dia macam pelik sikit, tapi kau tak payah buat apa, kau pergi je check je kat situ. Nanti kau apa-apa yang kau nampak, kau report kat aku balik. So there will be always, the shorter arcs will be full of those kind of things to sort of like act as an interlude and as a connector from the previous big arc to the next big arc. So Bleach ada benda tu, so it leads me to believe that Kubo ada this like overarching plan. Cuma it's how he flashes those things out lah yang aku rasa isn't necessarily bad, because I think all Bleach fans, tak kisahlah yang masih sayang ataupun yang dah makin critical atau ni, yang dah jaded, if you just go back to Hueko Mondo going into Aizen, if you just go back to that, you takkan rasa every issue is very suspenseful. Every issue ada stakes, or every issue ada something. It makes you wait for the next one. And then when Uruhara gives his big brain moments, you go like, oh shit, something's gonna be revealed. When Mayuri gives his big brain moments or statements, oh, something big is gonna happen. So you feel that way, meaning the way that Kubo susun benda tu kemas, so that it comes naturally for you, it feels organic enough for you to accept as a shonen manga. Jadi kau tahu yang pada ketika itu things are fine. The moment Aizen punya arc tu habis, that's when things started going down, betul tak? So but during that time juga yang kita start dengar the rumours about him being overworked, him feeling burnt out, him feeling really tired, dia tak dapat cuti, and then banyak editorial pressure, banyak fandom punya pressure, banyak fame punya pressure. So this is why I say Kubo is Kubo, because when he has that time, he will always be able to not be himself, will able to do better in spite of himself. So all the his weaknesses in storytelling only became apparent after the Aizen punya arc. And towards the Aizen punya arc, kau dah start nampak dia dah tak larat dah. Lawan flashback, lawan flashback. But leading up to that, especially during the Hueko Mondo punya time, throughout the part when leading up to Ichigo lawan Ulquiorra, the way he revealed things was very nice, very organic. The pacing was quite nice. Meaning kau tahulah, something had to happen between then. He either lost the spark, dia penat dan sebagainya. And then bila he reverted to being his flaw, meaning his least optimal self, he got this lah. We got this. And then the moment we get this, he could not get out of the funk. So it was just him going back to the drawing board. Oh, sekarang ni aku kena buat arc pasal ni Oh, sekarang ni cerita pasal Yuak Oh, sekarang ni cerita pasal storyteller Okay lah, aku buat je lah. Because he had to keep on delivering. So aku rasa that is why that is the Kubo that we remember the most lah. But we remember that the most because we thought we were going to keep on getting, the Kubo from before. So tu yang sedih, that's the sad thing lah. And benda ni dah banyak orang cakap, especially on Twitter, especially on Japanese media, social media. If you go to Reddit, if you go to ni, banyak orang dah cakap benda ni. So it's like I don't want to say he's a victim of his own fame, because he's not the guy that goes and look for fame kind of feel. Aku tak rasa dia manggakai macam tu. But it's not inaccurate lah. He is the victim of his own fame, even though it was not of his own undoing. Dia adalah faktor-faktor sekeliling. I mean like and aku rasa mungkin dia pun tahu Takehiko Inoue, dia bukan macam Takehiko Inoue yang kata kalau aku tak buat minggu ni, aku tak buat lah, editor kau balah. And editor pun macam okay fine, aku tak boleh kacau Takehiko, kalau tidak nanti lagi 4 bulan dia tak bagi cerita. So maybe during that time dia pun tahu benda ni, and dia kata macam I'm not going to be like that. I don't know, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it was actually illness. I did make a few look at a few articles. I mean, according to it was an illness, and you would have thought when they stopped the anime after the Fullbring punya arc tu was to give him time to write everything, but it was his own decision to finish it as quickly as possible, which is why I think it's unfortunate. Pasal tengoklah apa yang dah jadi. Nak kata dia buat pendek tak juga, dia buat banyak. Dia buat daripada 55 ke 24 kan.
Betul.
Tu punya haram je banyak. Tapi pasal dia kata dia nak bagi habis laju, which is why we have certain scenes yang tak macam, I mean, we will get onto the scene after this episode.
Tapi aku kena mention I don't fault him for feeling that way, sebab aku rasa I want to leave all this as fast as I can and just get my peace of mind. Sebab during his time, The Grey Man stop tau. And The Grey Man punya first 150 issues to 250 issues is fucking huge. The Grey Man was huge AF. Katakanlah the mangaka did not fall sick and she was fine, or she got support, or she did not break down ke apa benda ke, it could have been the big three. She would have even made the big four. That was how good the Grey Man was from the first 150 to 250 issues was. About 100 to 150. But she fell sick. And then I think she just got really, really overwhelmed. So when Kubo took a break, it was during that time. When all this was happening, it was during the time where The Grey Man next issue ni bila? The Grey Man ni nak sambung ke tak nak? And then people started to become jaded and you know, lost interest in it. And then cari pelukis lain tapi mangaka sama tulis story, but it was not the same. And then everyone around the project was demotivated. So I strongly believe that was the case, because I refuse to accept that the guy that gave us the Hueko Mondo into Aizen punya arc gave us the same thing, because they are still ada benda yang banyak benda yang sama, tapi macam ni execution lah. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and the fact that also why he's doing this now with the studio, this is like way years later. So whether or not Kubo is now healthier, has a different mindset, that might be it lah. Actually, we're going on to this, not next episode, we're going on to this next topic, which is okay, at this point in time in this episode, there's too many fights. It's kind of pointless in my opinion, unless kalau korang nak point out as a particular fight in this episode, by all means go ahead. There'll be like Ichigo versus the Bambis. There'll be that love Senrita, the bald guy with the beard and the nappy, and obviously Giselle Joel here, Senrita Z or the zombie. Macam-macam lah pasal dia ni, daripada lipas ke adakah dia perempuan ke adakah dia sadis. The floor is yours. Anybody wants to start?
I think one of the fans, kita punya penonton, dia pun mention perasaan terkejut dia that this is a guy, which I think caught pure anime viewers by surprise. Because one the lieutenant ke yang cakap kau sebenarnya lelaki kan, aku boleh bau kau. And at first I thought macam like is this an insult ke apa ke? Then the other Aranka zombie troop macam like, oh I want to fight you because I know you're like me. Macam like that pretty much confirms it lah. Two guys, you know, sensing this is a guy, so like but I think dia punya ability is how to put it sebab aku tak ada fikiran macam tu tau, dia ada sadism punya mindset. So to see dia jenis yang orang boleh belasah orang, reanimate them and then belasah kind of thing, it's a bit disturbing lah.
It is, but I agree. Yeah,
it is but it's like, you know, I guess maybe that's why I'm not a necromancer class punya player dalam RPG. It just feels very like very very odd to bring people back from the dead, and this one is not zombie tau. If she starts the process earlier, she ends up retaining a lot of their memories and abilities, which is like ini zombification ke, ini dark resurrection ke, apa ni, gila sia.
Tapi aku kesian kat Bambi lah. As much as macam mula-mula dia keluar dalam season 1, people were dalam core 1, people like, oh, this is a big evil looking stern reader, blah blah blah. Tengok tak dan 1 episod 2 episod dah nerf lah, dah jadi zombie. Tapi the way that she gets treated,
Bambi was a waste.
It was
because it was one of two scenarios. Either she would have been the strongest of the group, and her failing to win would have broken their team, and they're like, okay lah, we're done here, we're leaving this faction. Or she is the loudmouth who is actually the weakest. But as we've seen from the other fights, tak ada lah pun, she's neither the strongest nor the weakest, because that would have been a better, you always send the weakest loudmouth to fight dulu. Then baru the stronger guys come in when the fighting gets more serious. But she was the strongest and just wasted like that. So like and then died bila kalah dijadikan zombie, macam why waste such a strong power point macam ni?
Dia kena belasahkan siapa? Dia kena belasah dengan shit, I can't remember who it was. Was it Ichigo?
Was it?
No, what
Wasn't it
before she, who was it lah? Tak ingat. No, because
tak ingat.
The way that she became a zombie is because unlike the
dia kalah dengan Mr. Dog.
Mr. Dog?
You cannot destroy something which has no matter. Kan dia punya bangkai tu dia jadi one gigantic ni, and then he took something from his grandfather. I want to be human. Apa nama, the dog captain tu
Fox.
kan?
Fox dog.
The fox. Bukan dog
Ya. Lupa. Ya, before masa tu dia jadi manusia kan, because of the fact he gave his heart. Lupa. Ya, Komamura. So she kalah dengan Komamura. So basically she lost to the point that she lost, tapi dia tak pasal nyawa ikan lagi oleh sebab cara nak zombiekan seorang what you call it, dah jadi bodoh lah. Kalau nak zombiekan siapa, Shinigami senang, expose them to her blood. But unlike the Shinigami, the Quincy, that's it. to make a Quincy a zombie, you need to kill the person first. So she had to kill. Tu yang dia kata, when I kill her, it made me so wet. That was the most, as much as I'm a degenerate, I find that sentence very, what the fuck, man. So that's another thing. I mean, the way that she treated Bambi even after death as a zombie was very bad. Dia macam tadi gambar dia peluk-peluk kan. At the same time, kalau dia macam orang tak stable emosi lah, macam dia tengah makan, apa you buat ni, tu dia, kau diam dia dah, dia terhantar kepala dekat batu tau. Lepas tu dah tengok Bedah nak mampus, sorry sayang you. Kau nak duduk orang macam tu lah? Tak nak aku.
That's an interesting point that you raised up, which I forgot. Banyak karakter team Yahweh ni, dia orang ni how do we put it simply, pelik. They have such tremendous powers, but immaturity in the terms of how to use their abilities. They cannot gauge dia orang punya strength against dia orang punya serete punya opponent. So macam like, why did he grant all these powers to them? Is it just because of descendancy ke?
Tahu lah. Tada! Charlotte.
Oh.
Bleach dah woke dah lama lah.
Super power Hadoken tu was the best. Tembak tu hilang karakter Bambi lah. Done, bye-bye.
Kelakar gila juga. Tapi aku tak ingat masa benda dia got dispatched back home. Anybody remember? Who dispatched?
Tak ingat. He's that small a character.
Kan? Oh, ni dia kot. Ya. Mana ramai ke yang bunuh dia? Because
Tak, dia yang launch Bambi into infinity.
tak, is it him?
Tak, so dia lawan.
Ni. Tak, Hiamaru. Siapa nama ni?
Ni.
Siapa nama ni? Hisugaya yang bunuh dia.
Hisugaya.
Hisugaya bunuh. Kan Hisugaya jadi zombie balik. Dia jadi zombie.
Tapi kan,
And then he was like ha pergi, and then Mayuri cakap, "Woi, jangan." Lepas tu macam pap kena slash baik man.
Tapi I have to salute the people who did the English subs because it's not a matter of just translating the Japanese, but to have the conversation in the context of the characters, like nobody uses words like fugly if I say, that way inclined or whatever. So that was fucking funny lah. So that's that one. But of course, the other one that I wanted to talk about is a bit later on. Just need to fast forward this without. Aku kalau tunjuk still photograph, dia tak kisah, dia tak apa mungkin. But ni lah. Yeah, but ni lah, macam ni lah. Yeah, kalau still tak apa. Not just the Shini, the rank and file. One of the biggest shock was this bastard.
The captain.
Yeah, even though Mayuri pun muka, holy crap. Yang ni I can figure out lah masa bila dia buat, tapi it's like I was like when he got dispatched with Matsumoto by Basby and all that, macam tak ada orang ambil dia orang ke? Macam like the two guys, yang Grammy bunuh masa even the two captains which were being healed, and then masa Yashiro dengan Unohana's assistant, which I can't bloody remember what her name was, and he infiltrated into the hospital and killed them both, and they were made into zombies as well. It's like yalah, tapi part ni I don't think they showed it in the manga with regard to how he got to become one, but it was actually a shock lah. They had to figure out bila masa dia nak buat lah jadi zombie. But thoughts on the zombification of the Shinigamis plus Mayuri's usual I've got a solution for everything. Anyone? I mean, one of the solutions that he had was the fraction, and the other one is you're going to tell me what the blood thing and whatnot.
Jamal termute ke apa?
Atau? Okay.
Aku just cakap Kubo wanted to raise the stakes, but he was tired and he was uninspired, so this was how he did it.
Okay,
also, aku rasa dia berani zombify these fan favorites only because he knew there was a way to reverse it. So again, it's like no real stakes there.
Yeah, I think it's really obvious, right, that Hisugaya is Kubo's one of his favorite characters lah, except from Zaraki, Renji, because for some reason he has this dia kena ada penuhkan fetish cool shota characters lah. I don't care if Hisugaya akan ditutupkan into million pieces, bakar sampai retung jadi zombie, whatever this guy, he's going to survive at the end of the day lah. Yep, because kalau ikutkan apa dia mati kan, it would have happened like at least 3 times masa Aizen punya arc lah. There's no way he's going to remain a zombie permanently . So trust me, he'll be back soon.
What about the explanation of the way how he reverses the zombification in the Shinagamis?
It makes sense. It's just that benda tu is not beyond him, and I think that is par for the course. Beza dia, bila kau dah raise the stakes macam ni, and then you are doing episodes where they were adapted from mangas yang memang tak truly fleshed out, yang tak ada setup apa-apa pun. It was just like macam, oh okay, aku reveal sebenarnya aku ada blood type diorang bla 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 bla. Itu je. So it felt lazy lah, if you ask me. So the reasoning why he was able to reverse it was not lazy. It was par for the course for Mayuri. Tapi the way he told it and revealed it, that was very lazy lah. I think he was just not inspired lah.
Tapi out of interest kan, kalau katalah he wasn't lazy, if things were told properly, ni again not to say just out of spite ke apa, tapi you just wonder what the story will be like, the length of it, whether it could have been like the story that Bleach could have actually gone to more than above 100 manga issues, volumes, I wonder. And would it? But out of interest also, would there be, kan nak kata it's not good to be different in character, but prior, like you guys were saying, up to the level of the Aizen arc, do you think the storytelling up to that point was good? Don't you think you had the same complaints as well? Because Shaz berhenti tengok pun sampai season 2 pun dia dah marah. So apa yang lain?
Not for me.
Aku kena clarify sikit yang tu. The style told in the original run was consistent.
Okay.
And it was great for the people who are fans of it. I just lost interest in that style of storytelling. Sama macam kalau kita compare dengan Fast and Furious. Kalau kau benci Fast and Furious punya formula, you will kau akan belah halfway through Fast X. But because I loved it and they were giving more of what I wanted, I was happy with it. So it's what do you call it? I was hoping that there will be a change or maturity in terms of storytelling, but there wasn't. I'm just staying mostly for dia punya art, dia punya fight. That one aku agree. Memang the fighting scenes are great. I really love it. Cuma macam like reversal, macam like how much more can I tolerate of this? Itu je lah. That is my limit. I'm hoping I can go the distance lah. Sebab dia punya distance, there is gap between the episodes. I mean core 1 until core 4. I think I should be able to tahan lah.
The reason why I was able to be okay with Bleach was that I think I mentioned this before. Aku start Bleach lambat. Aku started Bleach watching the first episode of the anime, and then which came about 100 plus after 100 plus issues came out. So masa aku tengok tu aku rasa macam meh. And then fast forward a couple of years kot. And then aku pergi beraya, and then my younger cousins were telling me Bleach was cool, I should watch Bleach. And then I said no. Cool. And I said no thank you. I watched the first episode, macam I'm not feeling it. And masa tu Kubo punya art dia tak cukup lembut lagi dia punya lines. And the color palette that was chosen for the anime at that point in time was quite dull. So dia tak meriah. Dia tak nampak kontras yang cantik. Okay? And then bila soon after that conversation, aku tukar department. So one of my staff that was reporting to me, dia kata, boss, I think you would love Bleach. And then I told this exact same story. Aku tengok the anime, and then tak suka, and then my cousins were telling me to watch it. I don't like it. I said, you will like it because you like this anime, you like this manga, you like this story, blah blah blah. And I think it's up your alley. And at that point in time, bila aku tengok, it was already 200 plus issues. So I thought, then it was an easy binge. So bila aku baca balik, bila aku binge, then I did not suffer from the whole minggu ni boring, dia macam ni. I did not have to live with an issue.
You can read as fast or as slow as you want.
Yes, exactly. So when I read through that, I did not get the impression that Bleach was whatever it is now, or however it was when it ended. And even though it was done much better, even though the style remained, it was done much better. And pada aku, it was good because it was different to Naruto, it was different to One Piece. So because One Piece is a very linear storytelling punya style. So One Piece is what happens when Bleach is done optimally. Dia punya reveal tengah lawan-lawan, boom, kenapa aku kalah? Sebenarnya kau kalah sebab macam ni. Tapi of course, that is a very simplistic reduction. Oda is very masterful. Sebab you can go back 500 issues and kau tengok, oh sebenarnya dia dah foreshadow benda ni 500 issues ago. That's Oda, okay? So I'm not saying it's equal. So I'm saying, but the way Oda tells the story is still very linear. Dia tak ada macam kejap lompat sana, kejap lompat sini. Everything happens in present time. Bleach, dia tak macam tu sangat. So Bleach, they only flash it, Kubo only flashes it out in flashbacks. Very annoying. But bila kau baca Bleach at the same time as you are reading One Piece, at the same time as you are reading Naruto, is refreshing. Because macam, thank you. Dia macam orang suka this exactly why Jujutsu Kaisen meletup. Because alah, I'm not gonna watch another Naruto, I'm not gonna watch another One Piece. Jujutsu Kaisen doesn't waste any time. Aku jumpa spirit, aku lawan. I powered up my curse. Aku ada kawan aku power. It's tak ada flashing out. Dia simple. A nicer way of doing that, tapi in a very linear style, is Demon Slayer. So before these titles yang aku baru quote ni, Bleach was trying to do that. You know what? I'm not gonna leave some crumbs here. I'm not gonna give you some long, dull conversations about some history that you need to know between Serete and Huecomondo. I'm just gonna Ichigo is gonna fight. A day in the life of a substitute Shinigami. Macam tu je. So it was not bad because the characters and the stories were compelling enough. And then bila macam kau tengok Ichigo keluar Getsugo Tensho, asal mama ni kuat sangat? Boom, flashback. Oh, okay, cool, thanks. Because I would be wondering by this point how the fuck did he get so powerful. So at that point in time, it was fine. And then when you get to Huecomondo, then the whole revelations, everything, the stakes became higher. Especially it really picked up when Ichigo nak pergi selamatkan Rukia. Because at that point in time, dia dah establish very well that Ichigo dengan Rukia ni, dengan Orihime, dengan Shed, semua ni kawan dengan Uryu. Dia jadi macam, hai, kita kawan-kawan. Kawan-kawan yang macam, okay, semua orang ada power lah sebenarnya, hihihihihi. And then the stakes got bigger and then he slowly brought us into that Serete punya universe. That's why it was fine. And it's easy for me to say this sebab aku sekali baca terus 250 issue. And then daripada 250 issue tu, okay, now what are you gonna give me? Because I've changed my mind. I've revised my opinion. And then I got the Huecomondo and then I got to Aizen. Lepas Aizen tu baru macam, fuck, kau dah bagi aku Aizen, kau dah bagi aku Huecomondo, and then you giving me some stupid full bring whatever shit. Tu yang down lah. So like for me, dia bukan tak sama. It's consistent. I agree with Shaz. It's consistent. The style is consistent, but he's had more time to do it nicer, do it better, be more measured with it before. On the manga lah. Because aku tak suka Bleach punya anime. Because some of the non-manga, non-canon punya stories are like, ini mesti production house punya idea, bukan Kubo punya idea. Aku malah nak layan. Kau bagi aku brief, aku lukis je karakter tu, korang pergi tulis cerita korang sendiri. Aku malas nak ni. Aku bagi approval. Oh, the character looks like a character from that I would draw myself, but I'm not gonna write that character. You guys go write the story yourself. So aku tak nak komen lah kat situ.
I mean, what I'm gonna add is also this one I do not know as a fact or not. Do you think Kubo way of writing, because I think I got a feeling, despite not having read my One Piece manga yet, that Oda likely had known the ending of the story when kalau kan, walaupun probably not at the inception, but probably early on dia tahu dah, for him to allow to be able to do this, page 16 dia masuk jamban berak sebelah tu ada nampak tu, you'll see that 7 years later. But do you think from the way I think I might know what the answer is, the way that he writes is, one, dia dah got everything figured out, tapi it's just that his presentation is such that you do not know whether he knows what the ending of the story is. Anyone knows or not? Including chat tahu. Aku
rasa even if he did, when he fell sick, everything went to shit. That's what I think.
Itulah. Sedih. Anybody else?
Sedih.
I think he already has an ending. I just think he's still thinking about it. Like Oda has already an ending in mind.
Yep.
To it. But him, is up in the air.
Yeah, dia macam I know how I want it to end, but I don't know like the specifics of it. I think Oda is like 10 steps ahead in that sense lah.
Yeah.
Sebab
And although,
people are already quoting panels from the first 50 issues that are relevant now.
Yeah.
And One Piece is like 1,100 issues. Gila weh. Itu berapa 20 years,
Yalah.
20 years. So like for Oda to like foresee it, like macam I want dia macam okay, aku tulis cerita ni, aku nak tahu aku nak opening dia macam ni, tapi sebenarnya masa Roger cakap macam ni, masa Dini cakap macam ni, this is the implication. Implication tu I'll take my own sweet time to tell you. But it will call back to this specific panel or specific moment. So he's done that.
Okay, before we go on to the next chapter, we'll just have a look what chat's got to say. Okay, we've got that already. Ashraf Azban was basically responding to your Degrayman story tu. Wow, Degrayman legend tu. MN Shafiq has the 3 other quotes. Comments, aku tak puas hati sebab aku dah mula minat kat karakter Trap tu sebab nampak kawaii. Apa? We don't judge. Sama macam Vizet Captain lah, dia belasah begitu saja.
Bro is a flat-chested fan.
Andri
Flat is
karakter
justice.
yang ada semua apa dia? Andri karakter yang ada semua benda lah, Faith Kubo. Alamak, I should have picked this up when he put the comment on. I'm not sure which apa context. This is in context to what we were discussing early, probably during when you were explaining something. I can't remember. Sorry Shafiq, but thanks for your comments. Okay, so basically at the end of episode 23, there you go, the three top queens are looking at Ryokyu. So kita akan ke segmen seterusnya. Okay, ini episode 24, Too Early to Win, Too Late to Know. Well, this is the one that started off with anime only scene. Much to the delight quite a lot of people who've read it because they weren't expecting to see this at all. In my opinion, I welcomed it because for me, it does explain a few things clearly. You know, aku tahulah siapa Yuhabaha tu, tahulah siapa Rio tu, tapi you know, after having to like read there, listening to this comment here, comment there, and piecing it together, but at least it especially I think it does help for people yang tengok tanpa membaca, delineate lah sikit motivation apa pasal dia berperangai sebegini. Yeah, there we go. Anybody else got any comments on this anime only bit?
I appreciated it. Like this is a good example as to why he needed to do the anime.
Yeah.
I mentioned I appreciate this scene, right? Because it explains a lot of things kind on the motivations of why this shit is happening right now.
Yeah,
it justifies.
Yeah, because aku sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, what basically wants to know kan, why do you Soul King kan created life and death tau, created so much misery. It's a fair question and he didn't get a fair answer back. So there's a discontent, and then okay, I understand maybe it's not overreacting, but at least we understand the motivation. So they add this kind, a lot of layers kind for us to feel and study and appreciate lah. So they should do more of this in the future course lah, if you ask me, instead of more fighting.
Yeah, personally I agree with you because aku suka benda macam ni. Memanglah cerita ni shonen kena ada gaduh semua, tapi macam nak tahu juga sebab. Because tahu aku slightly spoiler territory for people watching who hasn't read. I mean, no, but then let me ask you this: the world was once one. The function of the Soul King is to make sure Komando, Serete and the human world coexist dan stabil tau. Because ada sebab dia yang sebab tu akan spoil. Tapi aku tak tahu yang sebelum tu dunia tu one, which is why kita tengok daripada some sentences yang Yuhabaha sebut dalam core 1, core 2 yang he's so keen to make the world one again. Now aku tahu berapa pasal. But seriously, from the manga, I don't, probably it's just me reading it too fast ke apa. I didn't know that he wanted to. Oh yeah, one more thing. There are a couple of light novels which are canon, the contents of which I unfortunately do not know. Again, so that will be quite interesting to see whether are they going to flesh that out in the next core and the fourth core, considering the fact that there's not much left manga-wise to do 2 cores with. Because as you can see from the end of this, I think we will see the end of the fight between Squad 0 and Yuhabaha. Anybody else nak tambah about this initial this meeting scene? I mean, people were getting excited lah. Dia macam, siapa awak yang pegang machine gun tu? Like, I don't know. And this is another thing. This is semi spoiler, but here you could see Ichibe giving Yuhabaha the left hand of the Soul King. Korang tengok tak adegan tu? Shit. Main je lah, nanti dia tak kena catch ya. So
yep.
And this is also played out in a few more bits after this, at the end of this episode, not pertaining to Ichibe at all. I mean, this is again back to the conveniently explaining things that happens to in the story, but whether or not this helps alleviate that, but aku semi faham about this bit. But anybody got any thoughts on concepts that have been put out to the viewers in this scene?
Aku tak baca. This is I'm waiting for him to tell me it. Sebab aku rasa macam
It's too vague.
It's too big. Satu is too vague. Dua, macam I'm not watching it because I wanna outsmart ataupun outthink and figure out apa nama ni Kubo. I'm just like, I want to enjoy the story that you give me, and if I watch it and aku tak terasa enjoy, aku just identify why lah. So bila kau tambah benda baru macam ni yang aku nampak tambah depth, I'm just like, okay, cool, let's see where this goes. So I purposely avoided any content or any postings with regards to this, sebab aku nak tengok dia buat apa. Because I like the idea of this is ni lah, because this is how I arrived at the conclusion yang Kubo ni the conceptual, because you know, aside from the fact storytellers tu A sampai Z, lepas tu Hue Komodo kalau kita tengok Espada ada tema-tema dia kan. And then kau tengok the whole Soul King, Soul Palace, and then the Hue Komodo punya ni, and then lepas tu kau tengok how the Quincy's and the Shinigamis are opposing forces. Personally aku suka benda tu. So aku rasa macam I would like to see how is he going to flesh that out, because like kalau aku nak overthink benda ni, it's like kalau aku nak intellectualize benda ni, Shinigami kau ambil Asian East Asian punya budaya, and then kau tengok Stern Ritter punya Stern Ritter dengan Hue Commando punya ni are all Western punya.
Western, yeah.
So you know that he has that, he sees those kind of stuff. So I love the fact that.
But I just wondered as well whether or not dia buat tu dengan sengaja with some intellectual reasoning behind it, or whether it's just coincidence. Because funny you mentioned that. Aku semalam tengok kat Twitter, somebody bawa keluar this reference from Pennsylvania University. You know, when you can read people's thesis or master's thesis. And it was about how in BLEACH I'm probably going off in a tangent here totally with regards to the title, tapi dia kata Kubo sebenarnya membuat komen tentang masyarakat Jepun yang mendapat terlalu banyak pengaruh dari barat, dan ini ditunjuk melalui cara dia characterize hollows. I might be wrong of here, so if anybody wants to read, put it down in the comments below what the link is, not in the description below. So but what it is, whether or not orang yang buat essay tu memandai, elaborate, agaknya cerita dia macam ni, sedangkan aku bubuh Spanish ni sedap sial nama tu.
I think it's a bit of both lah. Dia boleh je bubuh Spanish name, tapi dia tak boleh lah main sebarang main pilih je kan. So dia
adalah, tapi he probably just let's choose a country.
Yeah, exactly. I am leaning towards that. You know what? From a design perspective, styling perspective, kalau kita ambil nama-nama daripada Latin ni, dia macam cool sikit, nak sebut pun macam berbelit lidah kan. So I just think is that. And then for the Quincy's, dia ambil German because nampaklah the whole strict, orderly, rigid punya tu.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Because there are elements in the design of the junior Quincy soldat which are similar to the junior members of the Nazi party. If you've seen pictures from history where they wear the cap dengan flags, dengan sash semua. And all the German words used in, obviously they are not made up. They are real German words like shoot stuffer means.
Yep.
You know, it's not. It doesn't mean like kandang babi.
Yeah. Tapi us saying this, kita pun kena ambil kira juga orang Jepun ni diorang memang suka pakai benda-benda orang putih ni. So chief pesalah utama adalah siapa nama creator Jojo Adventure?
Oh tu.
Itu memang villain villain number one. Nama karakter Rio Speedwagon. Aduh bro.
Aku ada buat
agak cover line lah sikit bro. Aku
buat meme ni masa tu first episode, first season lagi. Wham! The cast. Wham.
Bro, you forgot one thing. The best. ACDC.
Aku dah cakap. The third one ACDC, tapi Asia ESIDI. Tapi pak cik tua tu Tom Petty. Oh my god, Tom Petty. Tu Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers nama orang dia buat. Tapi I take it in good fun lah. Araki
because diorang memang dia memang benda tu bukan dia pandering. Bukan dia nak ambil
dia
pun.
Dia
suka. Dia macam kita orang yang macam aku sukalah pakai sombrero ni, Mexican ni tu je. Dia bukan dia nak cultural appropriation. Dia tak ada masa nak cultural appropriation. Dia just macam benda ni cool, aku nak pakai. Dah habis cerita. Orang yang cultural appropriation tu, benda ni tak ada kena-mengena dengan identity aku per se. Tu je. Aku just it looks cool, it looks great, aku nak pakai. Ada setengah orang biasalah dia akan macam, kau tak boleh pakai barang orang, pakailah barang sendiri. Yang tu yang kau nak ambil, yang kau nak kecil hati nak marah on behalf of orang-orang ni pula. Kau tu tak sama ke?
Biasalah, it's orang putih construct lah political.
Ya, orang putih construct.
Dia orang white guilt. Tak sebab tak ada kena dengan dia pun. Dia tak pernah invade Jepun pun. Jepun tembak dia. Anyway, okay, I wanted to show this bit. So we're going to go, and obviously this is them driving at the first stages of fighting against Ryokyu. So this bit, kepada yang dah baca, kami tunggu these scenes to be fleshed out with some trepidation, knowing how it was presented. It's a bit sayang sekali because cerita ni tergantung tau. Core 2 ni tergantung. Fight tu tak habis lagi. So we have to see the finishing of the fight in Core 3. There is a reason lah. Kita orang macam, siapa yang dah baca macam, macam ni ya? Tapi kita nak tengok lah, since korang dah buat benda ni dengan improvement, dengan tambah scene, korang nak buat tambah tak? So actually dia tambah in the final episode 26, the video of which I have been playing for the past 2 hours 24 on the site. But whether or not that improved matters, I personally tak sure, but probably the best I can go is sedap lah hati tengok, terror juga kan kau. So whether or not they're going to do a 360, not 360, and a 180 and change the whole the story to such a to make things better, itu aku tak tahu, wallahu alam. Tapi whatever it is, this is one of those things that I think aku pun dah nampak sejak yang Syaz punya description of reversal lagi. This is well illustrated in this episode and the final episode. Sekejap, aku tak terror, tapi sebenarnya aku terror, tapi sebenarnya aku lagi terror. Betul? Tak, sebenarnya aku lagi terror. So aku faham lah Syaz punya frustration, because aku yang minat Bleach pun masa aku baca ni macam, babi lah kau, can you finish this? Because this is the kind of things you'll see in fight, Syaz, in the next 2 cores. You will probably go.
Dia short gap je dia punya course tu, so boleh tahan.
Syaz kata I'm gonna watch, I wanna have 100 girlfriends punya anime tu. Well, give me the link. I bet you will want to watch that. Andri will give it to you. Anyway, so tapi serious, I'm not just saying dia menyedihkan hati kau, tak, betul. This one aku agree, because again, macam dulu aku tak dapat sangat because dia tak buat macam ni. So again, nak bagi sedapkan hati sekali lagi, kata mungkin kubur sakit sangat ke, buat laju sangat ke, apa hal cerita kau macam ni. Tapi it gets frustrating tau, because the squad 0 is supposed to, these 5 people have more kuasa daripada the entire society punya Shinigami tau. So which would explain why her bangkai is like that. Itu baru bangkai. So, but anyway, I think by this point aku nak macam tu lah. We are now on episode 24. Kita campur lah 24, 25, 26. Because 26 actually is just more fighting. Yang the slight differences that you can see is actually, if you want to talk about the little details of, but again, this is just merely descriptions of, aku buat ni atas nama aku punya power macam ni, kau boleh jadi semut. Aku punya power. So anyway, this is all now free for all, floors open. What would you like to talk about? Okay, one other thing je. Actually, at least in the episode 25, by this point, we've got the scene where adik Yoruichi, which we see for the first time, nama Yushiro, who looks like her, and the Vizards, all getting ready to go to Ryokyu. And and one particular scene that is a result between Yhwach lawan dengan Ichibe yang menyebabkan. Anyway, where shall we start? You want to talk about the fight, or you want to talk about what Yhwach did after fighting Ichibe?
This one we are discussing the summary, the last 3 episode kan?
Yeah.
Okay. So, correct me if I'm wrong, sebab aku tak fully ingat the rest of the fights in the first season. The first original Bleach punya run. Seingat aku, most of the powers that we have seen up to that point before 1000-year Blood War was destructive powers and senses manipulating powers macam Aizen. There has never been any reality bending powers kan before that. Am I right?
Tak.
Tak ada kan?
Tak. Kau rasa Aizen tak ada ke yang dia punya?
Dia manipulate engkau.
Yeah.
But
your senses.
Okay, fair enough. I see.
So as much as I may dislike the approach taken in this progression of power, I actually appreciate the fact that it's very consistent with his storytelling. Because if you have already destructive style powers, macam Senbon Sakura is destructive, a lot of the Ichigo punya power is destructive, semua damage based punya abilities. Then you move to Aizen, which is rare and few, whereby you manipulate senses, and then you have like different ability, macam the current number 1 punya captain yang dia guna apa, aku pilih color this color, that color, this color. So secara tak langsung dia dah tunjuk that there is more powers out there that is not based on just sheer damage potential.
Yeah.
Kan? So it was a natural progression in his own Bankai punya power punya concept. So if you go further on this scale, it makes a lot of sense for you to have reality altering Bankai powers macam Squad Zero ni lah. The 4 of them tu kat bawah tu, they combine powers because that's how much power they needed to unleash this Bankai, sebab kalau tidak tak cukup, whereby they can completely seal people inside dia punya powers and all that. So, aku pun tak boleh nak bayangkan how would you break free from this Bankai unless the Bankai has a power draining punya requirement, therefore they have to release them sooner or later, or dia punya there is a time limit lah, whereby after the time has been reached, or dia punya what do you call it, the society punya higher level ni dah deemed to be safe, they'll be dispersed to whatever location. And the ultimate form, which is Abang Sami janggut besar ni, is that he can rewrite reality of what you are. So when I saw it, I was like, this is some crazy nonsense tau, because we were shown this first, this Bankai ability, then the guy we can just tukar, kau ni no longer Yahwa, kau ni Yahwa, and then it actually changes that guy punya reality. So you bayangkan if that was something like the Matrix, you as a person, and then your administrator kata, sekarang kau ni kaya, tiba-tiba kau jadi kaya tau. So this is a really it represents how much creativity Kubo has tau. Aku terasa dia punya I wish Kubo was not pressured to do the work at the rate he did. If he was given the support and time macam Oda, wow, you could have you can just imagine lah how much of a good storytelling we could have had in Bleach, and it could still be running today side by side dengan One Piece. So yeah, it is the ultimate display of his creativity. I'm very happy for it. Cuma aku tak sure how he's going to top this kalau the actual Soul King comes out.
Yeah. Anybody else?
All good.
I'm just saying, like earlier in this segment kan, it's very OP tau. Sanjura punya powers OP. It seems like she devoured the whole Yahweh punya court tu, including Uryu. Bukannya bunuh, devour, tapi dia tak hilang terus kesan tau. But I'm pretty sure kan after core 3 start kan, they found somehow to neutralize the attack lah. It's too easy lah plot wise, you know. Plus Ichigo tak sampai lagi, dia nak buat siapa? So the monk character kan, he's pretty deceptive tau when it comes to as a character lah. He looks merry, looks macam like a nice guy, but when he comes to this person details for the Soul King kan, he's like a tyrant tau. You see, you see the way he talks to Yahweh kan, you know Yahweh siapa, but he talks to him like a macam budak tau, someone below him, and it's possibly true. I think this is by design. If you were asking me, right, I think maybe this monk character kan is acting against the orders, the wishes of the Soul King, and the Soul King kan is just there lazing around, not caring about the living or the dead lah, if you ask me. And he leaves it all to this Gote Zero, and the monk character, has is actually taking over, and Yahwat Bausda later on. I think that's what my guess.
One thing that I like to comment on the Shinigamis, especially the not just the rank and file, talking about the bosses lah. They may be wise, they may have knowledge, they may have skill, tapi one thing they also have is hubris. Diorang ni sombong, diorang ni tak tenaga diri, to the point that, I mean, which would exemplify why like they are shown to be like, akulah segala-galanya, and then when they fell down flat, then dia orang baru sedar sikit. Suddenly Byakuya jadi humble sikit, walaupun dia masih lagi action. Bila masa nak tengok Byakuya kata tolonglah dekat Ichiko, for example lah. So samalah juga dengan Mamat ni. I think kalau bapak borek anak rintik is best way to describe it. And I think I agree with Andre as well with regard. I also just wonder if there's anything, if there is anything else that Ichibe here is doing, not just protecting the Soul King, but personally kalau tengok balik cerita tu, as far as I remember, dia tak adalah tambah apa, tak adalah macam motif yang tersorok ke apa, tapi dia macam tak tahulah, dia macam action gila lah. Dia peduli apa kau Quincy ke apa, as you can see, as you can just eloquently describe just now about the meeting between those two, right? So sometimes you feel like as much dia ni orang baik, tapi macam kau tak suka dia sangat. I don't know whether this kind of feeling korang rasa tak about these guys. It's a bit frustrating sometimes. I wonder what dia as far as they're concerned, dia kata kita orang nak tolong korang, tapi kita orang terror, kita orang tahu semua. Korang diam.
Yeah, but here's the thing tau. He's supposed to be a monk character, someone who's actually achieved enlightenment. Okay.
He looks like a monk. He might not be a monk.
Well, he has those beads, he has those clothes, he even has the upper weird haircut. So I'm assuming he has a monk type of mentality lah. For him to be this arrogant, acting this freely, it's like the Soul King give me his mandate, so I'm doing everything and speaking on behalf of the Soul King. So I'm your new god. So lick my balls, something like that lah.
Okay, I'm going to go on to just show you this bit, and then I think kita nak bagi habis lah juga. Pasal also nak cakap lagi more about the Soul King is going to go into spoiler territory tau. Tapi Soul King ni aku bagi satu segmen dia ni kau akan disappointed lah bila kau tengok dia. That's all I can say. For something that is regarded very highly. I think macam mana cakap apa? Siapa Aizen, dia punya quest is actually to pretty much do what Yuhabaha buat, tapi obviously his attempt was cut short lah. But what do you guys think of Yuhabaha's dick move once his short staffel were taken care of, and he even had to cabut his throat out to be able to speak again? So he recreated the Auswählen, which happened decades ago, which killed Uryu's mom and a lot of other Quincy's. Any thoughts?
It's ruthless lah. That fits the image that we got of ni daripada awal, and that is aku rasa itu okay. It's just that there's this sense where kau buat apa pun tak guna because Yuak is just too strong, and all this is just you you thinking that you are able to answer UNTUK, and biasalah dia punya hubris lah sebelum dia kalah. So aku tak rasa macam impressed sangat lah, to be honest with you. Especially selepas dah baca manga kan. So macam aku dah tahu cerita dia macam mana. So yeah, I think one thing that I felt Kubo could have done was with this was to just give these characters yang memang tak banyak moment. So it's not that they didn't get any. They did. Cuma aku rasa macam tak cukup lah. Dia tak cukup compelling because basically Kubo is telling us more than he is showing us lah. But then again, aku dah redha lah. He is that kind of a storyteller. So yeah.
Okay, dan sebagai benda ni is not a spoiler, but the way that I'm saying it is a spoiler. But considering the fact you saw the meeting between Ichibe and explained in the next core, and it's relevant to what the Soul King is. It adds layers lah to the Soul King's story and lore, I guess. But whether or not this is again, taking the points you guys have mentioned, especially Jamal mentioning about whether or not, adakah ini something, okay, I'll just put this out there because I can put it out there, or whether or not he's thought about this a long time ago. But then again, Ukitake was ill from season 1. But then again, he could have had COVID. I don't know. So, but this is something quite. So this is related to quite a few characters. I shall not say who they are in the story, and it will be the source of amazement and feeling of furious anger when you want to watch and read the next subsequent episodes. I think I got it here.
I'll be angry if I found out the Soul King kan is actually Zeno from Dragon Ball Super tau.
Oh, yang aku yang tak baca Dragon Ball, aku tahu what Zeno looks like. Dia macam binatang kecil kan.
Yeah, the one who can destroy universe with a snap on finger. Yeah.
Not quite, but not too far away.
Okay. Anyway.
Itu okay lagi. Nanti when you come to the point when Ichigo wins.
Well, he will win kan.
No, it's not when he wins. It's like how he wins. It's how he wins. Nanti kau tengok.
Hold on. Are you telling me Bleach ends with Ichigo becoming the Soul King?
Not quite.
No.
Well, he has been everything.
tapi bila kau tengok cara dia menang tu macam okay, alright.
Tapi kan Jamal, okay, I know this is okay, kita tak nak lah spoiler territory, tapi macam kita dah baca semua, tapi kan aku tak tahu whether or not this tambahan stuff that we've been getting so far and the possibility of more tambahan in the next core, whether or not they're going to change the ending a bit at all.
Okay, if they do, I applaud them.
To make it, if they do successfully, not in a shit way.
Even if they do, and even if it sucks, I applaud them because it means that they acknowledge the
original shit.
Original ending was like what? Huh? Okay, so they decided let's try to do something about it. So whether they succeeded in doing something about it, itu tak apalah, nak buat genre kan. But the fact that they recognized something was not right and they wanted to change it, itu aku applaud. Yes. Then for me it justifies doing all this course even though we don't really need it, because if it helps Kubo sleep better at night and then just accept his legacy as it is, I'm all for it.
Yeah, learn from Evangelion.
Why do you have to go and petik NGE lah. Andre,
Omedeto.
why? Abi lah.
Omedeto.
Why, bro? Now marah.
Bro.
Now I marah.
Best mecha ever. Anyway.
Yeah. Like hands down, nobody comes close. The best mecha anime ever.
Are you
From
kidding me?
Marah,
Marah, Syaz. No, bukan Syaz.
Let me finish.
Calling him.
Let me finish. From an artistic direction standpoint, not the story. Story banyak lagi anime, mecha anime yang tapau lah. Yang tapau 18 kali. 18 kali. I will die on this tree. But in terms of art direction, dengan design, the best mecha anime.
Okay, I'll give you that. I can actually take that, because if you're telling me that this Evangelion kan, I actually love Evangelion. It's better than you say
Evangelion. Evangelion. Sorry, aku
Evangelion. Evangelion.
Bodoh lah. You were saying it's what you were saying?
If you're saying apa? If you're saying Evangelion kan eclipse everything else including Macross kan, I'm going to be like upset tau. Cause Macross kan, despite how old and shitty it looks compared to now, right? It bores us the love for mecha anime in first place tau. Something that Evangelion didn't did.
Yep. Correct. Basically, kalau kau suka Evangelion, is because kau dah tengok Macross atau Robotech, depending on ni. Kau dah tengok Gundam, and Evangelion elevated your taste for mecha. Not the story, but just elevated your taste for mecha. Itu je. But because we watched the Robotechs and the Macross and the Gundams first, or some of you watched Gundam first, we wouldn't have felt this way when we watched Evangelion if we hadn't watched Robotech first. Itu je. Itu betul.
Yeah.
Itu, dude, there is no way you can win that debate. Evangelion punya longevity is due to its cultish fandom. Okay, it's not because of excellent storytelling, brilliant characters. The idea of it, yes, gempak, but you know that 26 episodes was not enough, and the OVAs after that, and the repeated OVAs after that, the read semua tak. So sorry.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So cannot. As a just that's why I say art direction saja.
Okay. Okay. Sorry to cut you off. You mentioned Gundam just now, right? I am still going through watching Yamato, that Starship Battle Yamato. I wanted to start on Gundam, but I don't know where to start lah. Seriously, there's a lot of things from 90s until now. I don't know where to start. Any recommendations?
Syaz, kau dah kena seru.
Oh, aku tengah fikir jap.
Just give me the first three that I should watch, including apa tuntutan.
Bukan kau Zero Entry ke?
Start with Wing. Just start with Wing, see if you like it or not. Because if you cannot like Wing, you cannot like Gundam.
Okay, and then
Wing is aku rasa for you kan, I need to ask one or two things here. Are you more into
Story?
Fantastical Gundam that can do all kinds of weird shit? Or are you more into nitty-gritty Gundam terpaksa diguna, or rather mecha terpaksa diguna as tools of war?
I'm looking for epic storytelling lah. I mean like something that ada macam background, something that adds apa macam knowledge to the world, the universe where Gundam is taking place now.
Okay, tengok Gundam Wing. Just watch Gundam Wing first. That's it.
I would recommend Gundam 00 because dia punya level of animation is more recent. Satu, dia punya impact of the Gundams on the universe, the in-universe storyline was massive. The Gundams were eventually taken over in terms of technology. It had a banger season 3 film at the end. Cuma if you don't like the antagonist, then minta maaf lah. But at the very least, the 2 seasons of story that it had were full 24 to 26 seasons penuh. And kau akan tertanya juga the questions that the people in the story tanya. So I don't want to spoil any further. It will be an interesting thing to sembang later. But to put it simply, if you were a civilian in that story, you'll be wondering, apa dia buat ni siap? that's the interesting part. So it was something which like, because when we compare dengan a lot of mecha anime kan, dia macam like hero, and yet in this story like betul ke dia hero? So you know, it's an interesting mature storyline. My most favorite Gundam before 00 come out was Wing. So I'm not saying Wing is a bad punya ni, but dari segi sebab it came out in the 90s, so dia punya animation style is dated in comparison, but the animation for that time was great lah. Cuma kalau you want something whereby the 00 dengan Wing have pretty much the same thing, where the people ask, are they really dia ni betul ke hero? Kita support dia orang because we have the meta knowledge of them being heroes, but the people in the story we're like, really?
I was informed that certain characters in the series kan they become protagonist. After that kan, another season kan, they become antagonist tau. So I just wanted to know kan, which one does to see first to actually appreciate the storytelling wise lah. It's like playing Fire Emblems tau. Apa, sometimes you play this one faction and then you fight against this faction, but you actually experience both factions.
Wing and 00 are completely different.
Okay.
Storylines. So dia tak berkait. But if you want what do you call it, a more straightforward storyline, I think I will agree with Wing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wing is
yang ada latest line tu Wing Syaz. Yang ada latest awet nama latest line tu, is it in Wing, is it?
Tak, itu C.
Oh, tu C.
Wing is famous for that one meme punya scene whereby come to my birthday celebration, yay, everyone tepuk, dia ambil benda tu koyak bro.
Atas bubur sekolah. Atas bubur sekolah.
Like,
Andri, the reason why I recommended you Wing is because you like apa nama ni? You like Macross. So it's comparable in terms of premise, in terms of factions and in terms of story. Tapi Gundam is Gundam, Macross is Macross lah. So that's why aku bagi Wing, because it's 90s. So kalau bagi kau Gundam sekarang, the Gundams now, especially post Seed punya Gundam, dia it's macam mana? It's a bit, it can feel like it's a niche sebab the build fighters and then the build divers semua tu very niche. Kalau kau minat Gunpla, then that's it for you. If kau tak minat Gunpla, then you won't understand the excitement of people watching it, because Gundam ni dia banyak timeline. So build fighters dengan build divers is a story where in a world where all Gundams you can play and you can have access to all the Gundams. There you have it. So they do it by a clever way of making an anime about kids playing Gunpla. Tapi the moment after they build the Gunpla, there's a device that can bring the Gunpla to life, and then they battle their Gunplas. So it's like the Gundam version of Vanguard. Okay. Tapi so I don't think that's the best way to get introduced to Gundam, because you don't understand why Gundam Strike is cool or why Gundam Wing is very legendary. So then if you want to go to Seed pula, Seed is very 2000s. Dia sangat alaf baru, sangat millennium. Some really funky design, a fresh new animation punya style yang selalunya diorang tak ada hidung unless kau tengok diorang daripada tepi. Tetapi and the robots are funky, the colors are brighter and more louder. Purple with dark purple with pink, yellow against green. They're very bright. So it doesn't really speak to the Macross punya style that you might be, more nostalgic about or more sentimental about. So you start at Wing. So if you can get behind Wing, then other Gundams, it's up to you. Dia macam tu.
You mentioned Gundam build players.
Build divers.
Build fighters. I actually watched like 5 or 4 episodes. Only thing I remember is Rinko. Yeah. Best MILF.
Okay lah.
Rinko.
Let's get on to the next bit lah. We're going to talk about kita punya harapan untuk core ketiga dan juga to celebrate what we saw at the end of the final episode. Yeah, I can't believe they showed that at the end. Aku penat juga tunggu hope dengan harapan that they'll show us something a bit more apa yang lebih revealing lah, but we'll show this thing now.
Yang lebih revealing.
How revealing?
Bukanlah in that sense. And that's
But then will the shadows
got
be the
nothing to
solution
do
to this?
with Ichibe punya penggunaan of black ink. But harapan saya is I'm interested to see how much more tweaking will Kubo and the studio do in the next core in preparation for the final core, and whether or not they're going to incorporate any bits from the visual novels. I mean light novels, because there is an element. Pising lah pula. Condense things. What are your harapan? Start with Jamal.
I want to see more backstory on Quincy dengan Quincy versus Shinigami punya ni. Kalau boleh, how the world was created, and then kenapa dia split between Quincy and Shinigami. I want to understand that, because that might just salvage Bleach for me lah. Not to say that I don't like it, but it will salvage Bleach for me. Kalau dia bagi benda tu.
Shaz?
I honestly want to see how the Yahweh punya team recovers from dia punya defeat. It feels very
So Australia
it's like you can literally just say like they're done, you know. But based on this, macam banyak lagi cerita to be told. So I suppose we get to see what are the weaknesses of the Squad Zero punya powers lah lepas ni. And I mean despite
Australian tu he tried to take all the reishi from everybody else kat bawah, save the 4 shoot staffel that was with him and himself. Because dia orang. Tapi itulah, that's why aku tengok muka Bambi macam babi kau, celaka kau. So some of the Bambis kena. Tapi dia
but there was a one-off punya ni. He can't do that again. So to see how Yahweh recovers from his loss, lucu tak? We are rooting for the villain this time. No. You are saying he cannot do it again now, or you're comparing it? This is his second Australian now. Yang kita tengok ni. Sorry? Yang ini. This season 3 kan? Core 3.
Lepas tu tak ada lagi lah Australian, tapi I'm talking about yang episode 25 tu. That was the Australian that killed.
Yang he pulled all the power up to himself. But that wasn't strong enough to bypass the non-destructive powers of Squad Zero. So I'm curious to see how Yahweh will try to figure out how to beat them. Because the right now Yahweh punya faction ni, all of their powers so far, except for Mr. Imagination, semua destructive style power. Raw damaging style abilities. Dia tak ada macam ting, kau jadi buta, kau jadi pekak.
If you know what I know, you'll be in for a surprise.
Yeah.
Is it?
So,
a pleasant surprise lah.
Kau surprise je, aku tak nak cakap apa.
Shit.
We will let them discover it on their own, Kudo.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no idea, but knowing Titik Kubo, right, I buat tadi kan, ni kan, that was your clue tau. This is Kubo's ass, and I'm pulling an idea from his ass lah. I'm pretty sure kan it's going to be something that we have seen before lah. Macam apa Uryu tembak apa dia punya Quincy arrow, and then apa dimensional hole so they all can escape, something like that lah. I'm pretty sure
you tengok lah nanti. You tengok the escalation, and then kau tengok macam mana the resolution. It's just it's just macam which quite sedih lah, because I feel that when Kubo did that, he might have felt that he raised the stakes as high as he possibly could.
It's possibly good. And that's the
And
highest.
that's the highest. And then bila dia buat benda tu kan, sekali reaction satu dunia yang dah yang tunggu the issue ke issue week on week, because I followed Bleach when I started Bleach. So I started following Bleach from issue about 250, 260 all the way sampai habis. So prior to that kan aku baca cerita dia, aku tak baca kan. So bila kau dah follow banyak tu, betul macam ending dia macam ni, kau macam okay, alright, okay Kubo, okay. That being said, it is not like a saber marionette J lah. It's not like that lah ending dia. Cuma kau rasa macam jadilah kalau you take the ending and you call it, oh this is Dragon Ball Z Super punya ending. Yeah, kau rasa macam oh okay ke? Okay, cool. Yep, I expected that. Yes. That's all I'm gonna say. Quite tempting lah that one.
Saya punya harapan,
Saya
punya harapan kan, I don't have any grand harapan macam Jamal who expected some sort of
backstory for the Quincy.
At the end. And I agree with Shazli katakan that we are actually rooting for Yahwab, because the more he progresses kan, the more we know tau. Actually, the more we get to see what's going on behind the scenes.
Tapi kan,
everything.
Kau kena faham. He will progress.
Yeah, he will progress.
My reaction dengan Kudo punya reaction is knowing how the progression happened and what actually the progression was.
So you guys have tasted the disappointment firsthand. We haven't yet, so let's savor the journey together.
Orang-orang macam aku bukan Kudo orang-orang macam aku lah adanya content creator Bleach yang gaduh dengan content creator lain yang kutuk content creator Bleach sekarang.
So my harapan is a bit shallow. I want to see more Tia Harry Bell. I always said that last time. Tapi tak muncul. We get ada Espadas to muncul. And of course, hopefully Roishi do something perverted lah. Like she should. That's it. Harapan yang,
Ada beberapa harapan. Satu je lah harapan from Fasha and Syafiq Fusion Bangkai. And Tanta Core 3 nanti ada plot twist rupanya Ichigo adalah incarnation of the next Soul King. Yeah, a lot of people talking about that.
Jap. Syafiq, kalau betul dia buat ni,
Kimak
dan dia buat okay, it might just lead to a second wave of Bleach. Because aku assume kau dah tahu ending, Syafiq, sebab tu kau cakap macam ni. Ke kau tak tahu ending lagi?
Jangan tulis apa-apa.
Jangan tulis apa-apa. Kalau kau tahu ending, jangan tulis apa-apa. So aku tengah assume kau tahu ending dia. So kalau kau tahu ending dia dan kau cakap Ichigo jadi macam tu and Kubo actually does that well enough, akan jadi second wave of Bleach. Tengoklah. Kau tengok.
Also keep in mind, right, this is an anime. It doesn't have to end exactly like the manga tau. A lot of anime kan have different endings tau.
Itu tak apa. Because this anime was created to change how the manga ended. This is Kubo's own love letter to Bleach. He felt that he needed to do this. Kalau tidak, dia tak boleh go into the sunset.
And Syafiq, ada berapa core? 4. So itulah. Anyway,
Kudo, aku nak tanya tu soalan boleh tak?
Ya, saya.
What's your favourite Bleach character? Aku rasa aku tak pernah tanya soalan ni kat kau.
Favorite character?
Yang bukan Hisugaya punya lieutenant.
Damn. I'll send you a postcard. Tak dah. Okay. Ya. Sure ada je. Jap.
Top 3 lah kalau tak ada top 1.
Tak boleh doh. Satu pun nak fikir tu. Korang jawab dulu, betul aku fikir. Sekejap. Siapa lah? Shit,
aku definitely Rukia.
For me, it's obvious. Ragiku Matsumoto.
Okay, other than and the obvious reason untuk aku, untuk membeli Rangiku, I quite like Urahara actually. Because dia macam irreverent.
Yep.
Aku suka orang yang irreverent, yang tak peduli pasal orang.
Actually,
Aku
nak
suka,
expand.
dan aku suka bapa Ichigo, Ishin.
Yeah, aku dah agak dah.
Ishin.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling you would say that.
Ya. Ishin, okay. Kalau nombor 3, siapa yang Yoruichi kot. Pasal dia macam probably that's me being under pressure kot. Tapi yang definitely lah Ishin dengan Urahara lah, 2 ekor tu.
Okay, Syaz, siapa favourite character kau?
Firstly Rukia, and then kedua is Potong.
I am Jesus Lord Savior. It has always been everyone else saying that's Ichigo Lord Savior. That is Bleach. Ichigo
Okay.
tak pernah kata diri dia Jesus Lord Savior.
The scientist
Mayuri.
captain.
No, not Mayuri. Not
Oh
Mayuri.
shit. Oh, wujud aku tak bet.
My favourite character is Chat.
Yeah,
Macam
same.
mana? Aduh.
Yeah, same.
My favourite character is Chat.
Yeah. I got 3 favorite characters. Ragiku, Roichi, Chat. Because he's the most simple and honest character in the series tau. Seriously.
And dia punya backstory dia bagus. Dia jaga atuk dia ke angkat.
Atuk dia. Yeah.
Dia Abuelo.
Kesian lah.
These strong hands are not used for fighting, but to protect people.
Yes.
Okay. Oh.
Yes. So dia
I
punya
like
power
his
manifested, dia punya power kanan dia manifested sebab this is the power yang the right hand of the something. That's the shield, that's for defense. So lepas dia lawan and then dia go up one level, dia ada the left hand of the Diablo where he has one offense, and which is the left hand lah. So,
One of his move nama El Muerte.
yeah.
Not to be confused with El Muerto yang Munif Asyik benci. Okay, there's a few from chat. It is Axis Kyoraku. And then dia kata penambah yang apa? Dia kata Taito Kubo is Aizen.
That's actually a cool theory. Sebab kita semua telah terkena Genjutsu Aizen, telah terkena Bankai Aizen.
Cakap pasal jutsu. Korang perasan tak how soft the Getsuga Tensho is? Getsuga Tensho now. Getsuga Tensho. Dulu kan dia kena jerit kan. Sekarang kan dia dah macam OP gila dia.
Kubo, aku tak suka Getsuga Tensho as cool as the name fucking is. Getsuga Tensho is probably the coolest name move in recent anime, shonen anime history. Getsuga Tensho is so fucking stylish, but aku benci. Kau tahu kenapa? Sebab since day one Ichigo dapat Getsuga Tensho, dia tak reti buat benda lain. Segala apa benda dia nak berak Getsuga Tensho, dia nak ketut Getsuga Tensho, dia nak naik dia sampai kat Tachengo, kat tol Getsuga Tensho. Tak ada benda lain. Okay, at least Naruto dengan Boruto dia punya Rasengan pun dia tukar. Rasengan benda lain, Rasengan variant lain. Ni Getsuga Tensho sampai mati. Lepas tu Kubo nak ambil hati kita. Oh, sebenarnya bapak ni bapak dia punya move. Lepas tu macam dia terbelajar. Tak. Anyway, you can take your Getsuga Tensho and you can balik Ichigo until you come up with a new move, you don't come back.
The only thing difference now kan, the only thing difference Kubo cakap,
new one called Getsuga Jushitsu or something like that that he came down with on the blue card. Ada tadi aku tunjuk. Sorry, Andre, you were saying something.
Ya, betul cakap apa Kudo. The only thing difference between Getsuga Tensho dulu sekarang kan is the way he said it out. He said it dalam nada yang sangat lembut macam awet Bentley tu. Getsuga Tensho.
Video tu bangang lah video tu. Bodoh gila.
Kalau kita compare dengan Goku even dia punya Kamehameha pun ada evolution tau.
10 times Kamehameha.
In Dragon Ball Super, he can delay the launch of the Kamehameha by holding it, because dia tak sebut the Ha punya part tu. He can carry that concentrated ball, dodge all kinds of beam attacks, lompat above a fire massive beam, guna benda tu as a ball to slide over. Macam like gila babi evolution ni kan.
Syah, simple je. Goku will only use Kamehameha as a finishing move. Ichigo, dia bagi salam get sugar tensho. Dia bawa keluar pedang get sugar tensho. Macam aku cakap tadi, dia berak get sugar tensho, dia kentut get sugar tensho. Semua get sugar tensho, tak ada benda lain. Goku akan lawan. Bila nak finishing move, baru dia Kamehameha.
Not really. He use a spirit ball.
Tak, spirit ball masa dia muda, sekarang dah tak buat dah.
Oh, dia pernah pakai sekali. Super. Tak, he lost. Macam like,
Super tak kira. Super bukan canon. Pangkas super.
Okay. Taking an executive decision nak sambung balik apa
Betul, Syafiq cakap betul. Dia lagi sayang get sugar.
Okay.
Dia dengan Nel. Nel is cool. Nel comel. Nel comel. Saya okay dengan Nel.
Saya
okay dengan Nel.
suka Nel.
Saya ship Nel dengan Chat.
Nel kecil kalau masa dia kelakar, kalau Nel besar tu pukul 10 malam.
Nel kecil no, Nel besar yes, because of ethical reasons lah.
Bodoh.
Masa Nel kecil macam bela binatang lah, pet. Bukannya nak buat apa.
Nel kena couple dengan Chat. Nel kena couple dengan Chat baru best.
Oh no.
Dengan bawa-bawa. Tak. Apa yang Peshe Guatish.
Okay lah, kalau aku ada second character yang aku suka is Ulquiorra.
Ya, dia tak tahu, aku tengok dia dekat Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp Captain Jack Sparrow punya Johnny Depp.
Kau cakap Johnny Depp aku okay lagi. Jangan Jared Leto.
Oh,
dengan dia punya celak kan.
Yeah.
I think he's probably more Jared Leto than
Itulah pasal sebab itulah.
Come to think of it.
Kan.
Sorry, yes.
Pada aku kalau tak ada Ulquiorra, kita tak akan dapat Hollow Ichigo. And thank you Ulquiorra for that fucking awesome fight that went on 10-15 issues. Walaupun anda kalah dengan, anda redha kekalahan anda, tapi thank you for giving us Hollow
Zero
Ichigo.
immortal kan. I think they are just as mortal as the other Shinigamis. I mean, you would have thought they were all immortal, but they die. So you go like. Tapi nanti ada Andri-nya favorite verb S10. Daripada core 3 nanti.
Nanti aku tengok lah.
Nantikan. Mungkin episod 3 kot. Anime pun Ichigo macam-macam power dia ada. Oh, Amen Syafiq supporter Ichigo.
Anime tak kira lah Syafiq. Anime tak canon. Tapi anime some characters memang agak cool lah. Some of the non-manga characters memang agak cool.
Yes! Mak Ichigo.
wow. Itu, I'm surprised Anri didn't mention that though.
Apa Forever? Yang poster tu? Apa
Chas, Ari suka mak angkat Ichigo.
Mak angkat Ichigo siapa lah?
Mak angkat yang mana?
Alah.
Dia yang ketua kedai tu.
Tengok senyum babi ni.
Hey, it's the obvious choice.
So anyway, right. So I think that's it for today lah. Kita dah tiba di penghujung sesi bedah malam ni untuk finale core kedua Bleach 1000 Year Blood War, The Separation, and without fail we've gone over the 3 hour.
Hold on. Apa nama stepmom Ichigo tu? Nagia.
Unagia, that's her name.
Unagia, yeah.
Yeah.
I just imagine it. Stepmom, what are we doing?
Oi, stepmom dia Kabedon. You know why? Unagia, ya means kedai. Unagi is ill. So memang dia jual ill pun, kedai ill. So it was quite a funny surname lah, because he just used the
yes, and if you translate this to Melayu kan, main belut, yes. So
I will not say anymore. Dan diharapkan penonton rumah terhibur dengan ulasan kami malam ni. Untuk sesi yang akan datang, kami berharap untuk memberi ulasan secara live stream untuk musim kedua Spy Family. Dan juga atas permintaan ramai, Jujutsu Kaisen. So
boleh.
So anyway,
I'll be in.
Panelist untuk Spy Family dan Jujutsu Kaisen nanti kami announce seperti biasa. As usual, Spy Family mungkin the same bunch of people if they're still interested. Or Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm just waiting for, like Jamal said, so he'll probably be in. I think I heard that Arif might be interested.
Kalau boleh
Munif pun interested, tapi kita buat weekend tak tahu Munif boleh datang ke tak. And bearing in mind, we are also doing Pluto. Now, Pluto ni...
Pluto aku nak Aku dah cakap awal-awal
Dah. Jangan risau. 26 bulan, which is next week kan? Rabu ni? Khamis ni?
Yep.
So, so saya bagi sebulan lah kot. So, I'm gonna ask Munif to give, I'm giving you time. Can you at least, takkanlah 2 jam, 3 jam, just, bukan selalu minta pun. Aku tahu lah weekend dia precious kan, tapi we'll see how. But of course, any of you guys nak join as a third person, by all means do so, because that's going to be a fantastic anime. Because
siapa tak pernah baca Pluto, tolong tengok Pluto. It's a fucking show.
Tak baca pun tak apalah, pergi tengok lah.
Tak baca pun tak apa, tolonglah tengok.
Exactly.
Tak baca pun tak apa.
Tak baca
tolonglah.
Pluto.
It is a fucking good story.
Pluto.
Gila.
As in, dia tak ada
pasal apa?
Dia pasal robot.
Dia robot. Android, cyborgs.
Okay, the beauty of this story is based on 2 chapters from Astro Boy, called the greatest robot in the world. And kalau siapa yang ingin menonton, this been made out into 2 episodes, black and white from 1965. Tak ada subtitle tu. You just took down the best robot in the greatest robot in the world, Osamu Tezuka, Astro Boy, dekat search dekat YouTube, you'll watch the both episodes in full. That will probably spoil it for the ending, but I think the fact that he adapted the story, Urasawa Naoki, the mangaka, adapted obviously dengan permission estate of Osamu Tezuka. Dia pandai lah, smart lah dia buat. So that's what an adaptation is. Kita tak nak sebiji. So kita pada peminat dua-dua IP, benda-benda macam bila tengok Astro Boy version Urasawa, rambut dia macam tu. So it's things like that lah. So that aside, I think as a story, I read it in one shot macam bloody lah, cerita the best. Tapi so what they're gonna do 8 episodes. Manga dia 8 jilid. So kemungkinan dia akan buat satu episod satu jilid. The question is whether or not they're doing it weekly, but I doubt it. If they've done your One Piece sekali one shot, I think they're gonna drop the whole thing in one shot next week. Doesn't matter. You'll take time to watch it because unless you have no life on a weekday nak tengok 8 jam full stop, go ahead. Aku kena tengok sikit-sikit kot.
Ni by the way, kalau tak kenal Urasawa, you might have known some of his works.
Monster, 20th Century Boy.
There should be one more. 20th Century Boy, 21st Century Boy, Monster. There should be one more. Aku tak ingat. Tapi 2 ni should be enough for you to know who Urasawa is.
Yeah. So daripada last summer where anime division was a bit quiet, so we are hopefully back in business lah kot. So,
by the way, favorite character aku Jujutsu Kaisen, walaupun orang tak tanya soalan ni, hopefully aku tolong cover. Aku suka Todo. That is how you do jokes. That is how you do Wolverines and Pachizaraki. That's how you do them. Okay? Itu je aku nak cakap.
That's why I don't like him.
Alah, dia lah. Todo is the man. Power nak haram sial dia.
Okay, apa ni? Monster, favorite anime aku.
Yeah.
I never watched Astro Boy, but I do enjoy some of Osamu Tezuka's other works. There was this one work about dancing, yang flute player something like that, yang dibuat quite old lah, 1960 something. But Monster is one of my favorite manga and anime of all time now. It's gritty.
Yeah. Monster is Urasawa, but the flute thing too, I don't know what you're talking about. But the thing is, just to mention about Tezuka, kepada mereka yang ingat Tezuka dia buat cerita Astro Boy, budak-budak, he's very dia punya works very diversified, daripada adult drama, not adult for the sake of putting sex in, but some of the topics that he covers very, shall I say, tak menyelerakan lah. Tapi benda-benda macam incest, benda-benda macam tu,
No, I think he did a version of the Ramayana tak silap. Suka. He did.
Yang tu anime dia, tapi yang talking about dah buku
No,
macam,
I mean, I talking about manga. He did a manga about this one Hindu Vedas tau, apa yang kisah apa yang Ram punya apa early life tau. It's quite good tau.
So books like MW about war, books like Ayako. So he's quite well versed. And anyway, so anyway, pada anda yang baru ke sesi kami, jangan lupa untuk berlanggan as usual, berkongsi dan tanya butang itu kedua laman YouTube kami, STOMACHOFCHAOS.com dan BuzzPopTV laman Pop Culture Sukraman Malaysia, supaya anda tidak ketinggalan untuk sesi kami yang akan datang. Dan jika anda ingin menonton sesi-sesi kami yang sebelum ini, selain dari archive kami yang mengandungi sesi ulasan stream yang penuh, laman YouTube STOMACHOFCHAOS.com juga mengandungi video ringkas yang mengambil tema spesifik dari perbincangan kami yang lampau. So, terima kasih kerana sudi bersama kami. Pada rakan panelis saya hari ini, Osuka Resama Desta, kepada Jamal, Shaz dan Andri. Thanks very much for spending your evening today. And dan saya Kudo Marizu. Ijo des. Mata today. Jumpa lagi di masa hadapan. Bye.